Good afternoon, I'm Paul Ralston, Director of Broadcast Properties for University of North Dakota Athletics, and welcome to this classic rewind broadcast of University of North Dakota football. Over the last several weeks, we've highlighted some of the great North Dakota football games that have taken place over the last decade. What's different within these broadcasts is that we've not only condensed the game more than ever, we've enhanced this version with additional commentary from head coach Bubba Schweigert, and we'll get his thoughts on some of the moments within the game, its players, and even that particular season. Today's broadcast is being presented by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. Today's Classic Rewind is from 2018, where North Dakota went to Huntsville, Texas, to challenge itself with what was then 5th-ranked Sam Houston State in a non-conference tilt. The Bearcats have been frequent FCS playoff participants in the recent seasons, and at the time owned a streak for consecutive home wins with 21 in all of FCS football. It's Saturday, September 15th, 2018. Now here's Jack Michaels, Mike Berg, along with me, Paul Ralston, as North Dakota meets the Sam Houston State Bearcats in this classic UND football rebroadcast presented by Shields.
North Dakota believed it, and now they're going to raise it. Put on your dancing shoes. North Dakota's going to the NCAA tournament. The University of North Dakota is going to crash the party. And UND has run the table in the Big Sky.
The following is a presentation of Fighting Hawks Sports Properties from Learfield.
UND has absolutely nothing to hang their heads about, fans. This team lined up against some powerful Pac-12 opponent and smashed them in the face a couple of times, had moments of great plays. There are things to build on.
You know, I think we really surprised a lot of people with our ability to, play with Washington today.
Yeah, that's that North Dakota football. Our plan every day is to come and play physical, play smart, and play tough. And I feel like we did that for the most part. Again, we just have to be consistent with things and keep building with everything we do.
As Browning keeps it, they're going to spot it at the 19.
It's going to be short.
This is going to be close.
I believe if they mark where the official ran in, that's going to be short.
Oh, let's go down to you. It looks very tight from up here.
He needed to get to the 19. The ball is spotted short of the 19. North Dakota football. What a stop.
North Dakota has turned the Huskies over on downs. How about that? Twin receivers split wide to the right, balls on the left hands. They keep it on the ground to Santiago. Santiago's got some room, and he broke it up to the 30, 35, 40, 45, midfield 50, to the 40, 35, 30, 20, 15. Santiago just busted one.
When it comes down to it, at the end of the year, when you look back, every game is a playoff game.
Yeah, a couple years ago when we didn't get voted in the playoffs, that's kind of when the demeanor changed, and like you said, a playoff game. So, a win every week is huge. This week will be really big.
As you look back at the end of the year, it's just the nature of our sport, and for us being an independent, we don't have an automatic qualifier this year. So all our games we treat as, hey, they're like a playoff game.
Fighting Hawk football starts now. Here's Jack Michaels.
Tonight, from the great state of Texas, the University of North Dakota faces perennial FCS power, Sam Houston State. This game, a barometer, if you will, that will measure the distance between where the Fighting Hawks are and maybe where they want to be in 2018. The Bearcats have reeled off 21 consecutive home wins. They are 50-3 at Bauer Stadium since 2009. For the University of North Dakota tonight, it's an opportunity to put this team back on the track maybe they were 2 seasons ago. They say everything is bigger in the state of Texas. Nothing would be bigger than to fly out of this state with a win in their pockets. Hi again. Good evening, football fans. Jack Michaels alongside the coach Mike Berg and Paul Ralston. She is hot and humid tonight here in deep South Texas, but there is going to be some action-packed on the broadcast tonight. Good to have you on board all across the home of Economy Radio Network. And Mike, this is one you circled when you knew it was on the schedule to come down here, and it is a measuring stick. It is a barometer, Mike, and I know UND entering tonight's game with a lot of expectations.
When I first saw that UND had scheduled Sam Houston for a home and home, it just got me excited because this is the level that UND expects to be at. This is where Bubba wants to take this program. And so you're right. It's not only a measuring stick for UND, it's a measuring stick for Sam Houston because they're playing a pretty good football team today. I think UND is going to give them a much better game than Prairie View did last week, and I have no reason to think UND can't win this thing.
Sam Houston with one game under their belt. That was a win against Prairie View A&M. I think the locals will tell you it was a little choppy. There was a weather delay during that game, and they're expecting maybe a better, more polished performance today. Paul Ralston, Director of Broadcasting, and Paul will be roaming that sideline. I'm glad Paul, well, he should probably not even be wearing a shirt today. It is a hot one, sweaty one. You know, last week, Paul, the guys had to keep out of their mind mentally that they were facing an FBS opponent, a top 10 FBS opponent. I think today, mentally, you take the heat out, you take the stadium out, you take the, isn't that the mantra today for UND, Paul?
No doubt about it, Jack. When you talk about what Sam Houston State would like to be in your mind, everything but the football game, and the key for Bubba Schweigert's team here is let's keep our mind on what we can do here in between the lines. And, you know, I thought North Dakota, you know, forget the score from last week. I thought North Dakota did a great job of handling some of those things and just keeping their focus on the game last week against Washington. Can they keep their focus here tonight against Sam Houston State? It's that next step, so to speak. I felt at times last week, in fact, for a vast majority of the football game, North Dakota played a better game of football than they did against Mississippi Valley State in week 1. Can they build from week 1 to week 2 to week 3 now? That's the big question. Sam
Houston, coached by Casey Keeler. This guy has over 220 wins under his belt. 3 different institutions. Mike, one thing that jumps off the page, it's not Swan and Stallworth. Pick your favorite receiving tandems in the history of football. But, boy, do they got 2 good ones. Davion Davis and Nathan Stewart. These guys have redefined the productivity in the Southland Conference.
I'm not so sure in the history of FCS football that there's been a receiving duo like this one. Both of them will probably be playing on Sundays in the future, and UND will certainly have their hands full in the secondary and trying to get some pressure on the quarterbacks today.
Sam Houston State may have graduated some stars, and certainly they have. They've lost a lot of talent, but they have a lot of talent remaining. This is an up-tempo team that's going to try to put points on the board, even though Casey Keeler is trying to have a little bit more physical mindset. North Dakota does have that physical mindset. Mike, before we pitch it and come back and hear from Bubba Schweigert on page 1, could a mantra be today also, if North Dakota can run it, they can win it?
Well, that would be Bubba's mantra. He could just write that in for the entire season every year, is that's what they want to do. It's especially important today, though. This is the highest scoring offense in FCS football the last 3 years running. You need to keep this offense on the sideline, and that means you move the chains. You do that by running the ball.
He turns 56 today. We'll hear from the birthday boy on page 1, the head coach of the University of North Dakota, Bubba Schweigert, coming up around the corner. A busy network pregame show planned for you leading up to the kickoff today from a hot, humid Elliott T. Bowers Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. The pregame show is always presented by Bud Light, the official sponsor of North Dakota Athletics, reminding you to enjoy responsibly. Good to have you on board tonight. It is Sam Houston State and the University of North Dakota. Our pregame show continues in a moment. You're listening to Fighting Hawks Football on the Home of Economy Radio Network.
When another Alberta Clipper blows in, nothing keeps you on the job longer than Carhartt work gear from Home of Economy. Ask anyone working outdoors. They'll tell you Carhartt makes the warmest work gear available. Traditional brown duck, Yukon Extremes, Carhartt Originals, and FR. They're all beyond tough and ready to work as hard as you do. See us today for the most sizes, styles, and selections.
Home of Economy, where your dollar buys more.
It seems around here every town is a sports town. And why not? Sports were important to us growing up, and we want the same for our kids. To get involved, to compete, because that's how kids learn to lead. And why Farmers Union Insurance supports these programs. They know sports aren't just about building skill and strength, but about building character. Farmers Union Insurance. They don't just protect our community, they invest in it.
We cater to cowards. The Badger Dental Group has long been known as the dental office that caters to cowards. Year after year, patients praise this team for their hands-on care, comfort, and patience given to them. The Badger Dental Group uses the latest technology and takes extra steps to cater to cowards. They want to make you feel welcome, comfortable, and informed, and they love new patients. Experience the difference experience makes. Call the Badger Dental Group today.
Nate from the Golf Center here, the man with the fancy shoes. Remember this, it's always the club's fault. Set up an appointment or stop in for a custom fitting experience to find where your misses are coming from. It's a proven fact that once you find clubs with the correct specifications, you will make a more fluid swing and improved shot impact pattern, giving you a tighter dispersion and flight consistency. In turn, you're going to hit better shots and have more fun after your fitting at the Golf Center, where your game begins.
Making safety a priority on the farm is an everyday decision. We buckle up when we get behind the wheel. We cook our food to a safe temperature, and we have a plan when the unexpected happens. Farm safety should be no different. Our team at Ag Country Farm Credit Services reminds you to look twice when moving large equipment and think twice before entering that grain bin, and use every resource you have to stay safe out there. At Ag Country, our focus is you, your safety, and your success.
At Ground Round in Grand Forks, the construction is done and the new patio room is open. Enjoy the beautiful days dining outside on the patio or inside in the fresh air and sunlight through the large screen doors. The Ground Round has also added a room available to reserve for private gatherings and meetings. Check out all the new items on the menu and, of course, always a great daily special. The Ground Round, 32nd Avenue South in Grand Forks.
Hey, Hawks fans, the pigskin is flying, pads are popping, and Shields wants to know, are you geared up? Got a jersey that needs retiring? Need a brand new hat with some fresh luck? For everything you want to wear, wave, sit on, toss around, drink from, grill on, and stick to your car. If it says Fighting Hawks, Shields has it. Shields, proud supporter of Fighting Hawks football and football fans everywhere. In Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite UND players on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. UND Pride, powered locally.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now, hip. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of North Dakota football as the Fighting Hawks are in Huntsville, Texas, taking on Sam Houston State in 2018. The first thing that stands out to head coach Bubba Schweigert after stepping off the bus for warm-ups was that the conditions on that day took care of the getting warmed up part.
The thing that sticks out in my mind is just the heat and humidity that we were faced with when we got to the stadium, because warming up, we had to be really smart. We had to tell our guys, do what you need to do and get off your feet, because this is going to be a long, hard-fought battle against number 5 ranked team in the country with the longest home winning streak at that time.
Let's get this game underway from Huntsville, Texas. Here's Jack Michaels.
Voice of Fighting Hawks football, Jack Michaels alongside Mike Berg and Paul Ralston, where tonight the sun, the humidity beating down, and the Bearcats have taken the field here tonight at their stadium, a stadium which they've won 21 consecutive games. 1-0 this season with a win over Prairie View A&M. 7-0 last season, 6-0 in 2016. In 2015, went 7-1 here at one loss at the hands of Lamar. This is a perennial power, a team that puts up points, video game numbers, if you will, offensively. Well, their head coach, Casey Keeler, says, and Mike talked about this earlier, wants to have more balance, wants to be more physical. That doesn't happen overnight. And for North Dakota, a team coach that comes in that does want to be physical, that wants to stop the run. So I hope Sam Houston State hopefully tries to establish a ground game and that North Dakota can maybe prevent some of that. The officials out of the Southland Conference, as the captains lining up at midfield. Kevin Boydman is the referee of tonight's game, and let's go down to the 50-yard line at tonight's opening coin toss.
Gentlemen, good luck to you. North Dakota, you're the visitors. You'll call the toss.
Tails.
Tails. What did you call?
Tails.
The call is tails, and it is tails.
We'll receive the ball.
You'll receive. Which way do you want?
North Dakota has won the toss here. North Dakota has won the toss. Mike, you told me during a commercial break, you said if UND wins the toss, they want the ball. Why, Coach Berg?
It's an attitude, Jack. They want to come right out, punch Sam Houston in the mouth, and show what they're here for. They don't want to be back on their heels. They want to come out and score. They have some things in mind this first series, and they think they can come out right now and get after them.
Paul Ralston, my weather gauge shows here on the app, which I'm sure is just deadly accurate, says feels like 99 degrees. Paul, can you confirm the conditions as we about set to kick this one off tonight?
I think it underestimates what it actually feels like, Jack. I got to be honest with you. I don't know who's sitting next to me on the plane, but I can guarantee you I'm not going to have a chance to shower after this one, so I apologize from the onset because this is going to be a hot one. But again, North Dakota's got to move past that right away and just get to business. Sam Houston State wants North Dakota to be thinking about the heat today.
Green means go, and tonight from Huntsville, Texas, as Honstein approaches the ball, this one is underway tonight from the great state of Texas. Santiago will return this one, takes it from his own 2. Out to the 10, to the 15, cuts inside of the 20, the outside 25, 30, and shoved out of bounds near the 32-yard line. Nicely done for John Santiago. The starting lineup is presented by Heartland Chevy. The Chevy Silverado made with high-strength steel for high-strength dependability. Chevrolet, find new roads. For the University of North Dakota at quarterback, Nate Ketteringham, the Sacramento State transfer. In his backfield, John Santiago, the All-American. A fullback, Graham DeVore. The wideouts, Noah Wanzik and Travis Toivin, and Garrett Mogg will see time, that true freshman. The left guard, Ryan Tobin. The right guard, Grant Amplin. Patrick Rooney at center. The left tackle, Bennett Helgren, and Matt Boletsko getting the start, a true freshman at right tackle. First down and 10. Here's a quick toss to Santiago, and Santiago maybe a yard. Quick toss, quick hit, and John Santiago held to about 1 yard. And an injured Bearcat immediately defensively for the Bearcats is Osi Odume. Odume is down on the field. As we talk about it, Mike, that Bearcats defense, Spencer Williams at the rush end. Brandon Jackson's the nose tackle at 6'1", 305. Odume down injured on this play. The defensive tackle, Eric Fowler, the defensive end. The linebackers, Royce C., Hunter Brown, and Tristan McCullum. The corners are Jalen Thomas and Zion McCullum. The free safety, Daniel Adams. And the strong is Adrian Contreras. Boy, one play and an injury for Sam Houston State.
Well, they are all about offense. They want the ball. They want to make it a track meet. They want to play on a soccer field. UND wants to play in a phone booth. And so if there's anything that this team needs to do to compete beyond just getting into the playoffs year after year, it's learn how to play defense against the top offensive teams.
Gain of 1 yard for running back John Santiago. Saves second down and 9 for the University of North Dakota from their own 31-yard line. Opening drive of the game, North Dakota won the toss and took the ball. High backfield. Here's the pitch to Santiago. Stops in a dime. Tries to get back to the line of scrimmage. And what that Bearcat defense that wants to be more physical is showing. They are early in this one. On the stop, Brandon Jackson Jr., 305-pound defensive lineman.
Physical or not, they know that we know they want to be more physical. They are quick. They close quick. They're kind of like Washington in a way. They play a lot of man-to-man. They play their safeties deep, run them downhill, and it's tough to get a cutback lane. It's tough to get into that second level.
So twin receivers to the left. The ball between the hashes. Nate Ketteringham out of the gun. Toivin and Wanzik, the receivers split wide to the left. Adioti on the near side. Back to pass, and under duress is Zimmerman. Gets rid of it underneath to Adioti. Adioti diving towards the yard to gain, but he's going to be, well, let's see. They mark it around the 40-yard line. North Dakota's going to be close to a first down as Nate Ketteringham was under duress, able to get it out, and Adioti nearly a catch and run for a first down. It is a first down for UND.
Ketteringham ducked under the rusher who came through free and an edge blitz, and then Adioti made the rest of that all on his own. He caught the ball and basically had to pick up the full 10 on his own.
Adioti went out after that play. Now he rushes back onto the field. Brady Oliveira now the back. He was out for a half last week due to a hyper and extended knee. Ketteringham again running for his life, goes downfield and nearly had the ball intercepted. good. The pass is incomplete. Adrian Contreras, the safety, had it go through his hand.
A little bit of indecision. Nate wasn't sure he wanted to throw the ball. Decided late to go ahead, and he had a lot of orange between he and Garrett Mogg.
It brings up 2nd down and 10 for the University of North Dakota. First drive of the game. Elliott T. Bowers Stadium that stands tall on the outside. That's the only shade here tonight at North Dakota, in part of that shade. It's not because it's hit any clouds, for goodness sakes. Wanzik, the receiver, in motion from left to right. Ketteringham changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Twin receivers to the right of Nate Ketteringham. Here's the handoff to Santiago again, trying to make moves out of the backfield. Leapfrogs a Bearcat and then pushes forward to around the 45-yard line. He's going to be shy of a first down, brings up 3rd down and medium. Call it 3rd down and 5.
Tried to get to the edge. That's going to be tough against this defense. They are really quick. They'll pursue laterally well. But he was able to elevate and go over a guy and picked up a little bit of yardage, but brings up that penalty now. UND walking backwards.
That's 3 times now John Santiago has touched it, and 3 times we've seen Bearcats winning the battle up front.
And we've already seen more penalties today than we did the entire game last week.
So it is 2nd down. Call it 2nd down and 20. North Dakota has it from their own 30. That's where they started roughly this first drive of the game. Ketteringham out of the gun. Ketteringham, long count, takes the snap, cocks his arm, fires the ball. It is caught inside Garrett Mogg. The freshman broke through the 45, and Mogg out to the 49, and we're going to have a flag on the play. Might see some spearing or targeting, Coach.
I think we're going to get 15 added to this.
Really, the first really solid-looking play, the Adioti play that picked up the first down, that was all effort. Just to get to that stick and that marker, but that was just a really well-designed play, Coach.
Mogg ran just a shallow post route, got in between the corner and the safety and into that kind of void area.
And there's your targeting call, Coach. As I mentioned, unnecessary roughness, a targeting call. First down and 10 for the University of North Dakota at the Sam Houston State 33. Here's the toss, and James Johannesson on the carry, the transfer from the University of Minnesota. His high school ball at Fargo South High School, a former Bruin, here in Bearcat country. Picks up 1. It brings up 2nd down and 9.
You know, this venue here is one of the top FCS venues. Really a special place. A lot of good football played in this place.
So 2nd down and 9, UND on the Bearcat 37. Back to pass. Ketteringham's got some protection. Dumps it underneath the Adioti. He's out the 30. He's out the 25. He's out the 20. And then strung out of bounds around the 19-yard line. Adioti underneath, and that's a speed guy for the University of North Dakota. That's 2 big impact plays for Izzy Adioti.
You want to run those crossers on levels, and he ran shallow, came from the right back to the left, caught the ball about at the left hash mark, and was running away from people.
17 yards on that. And North Dakota has entered the Case IH red zone. Rethink productivity. First down and 10 from the Sam Houston State 20. DeVore, the fullback, Santiago, the tailback. Here's the toss to Santiago, gets a block on the perimeter, tries to cut the edge, leans that shoulder in for a gain of maybe 2.
And I actually like Paul Rudolph's idea here is they're going to keep attacking this edge, try to capture the edge, make Sam Houston run. They will check. They'll check where the safeties are aligned and see who the tackler is going to be. And so he wants to get them to run and have to run to make tackles.
Linebacker Hunter Brown on the stop. This drive right now, 8 plays and 51 yards for UND. It is 2nd down and a long 9. 2nd down and 9 at the Sam Houston State 19. Ketteringham on a quarterback keep. Ketteringham flings his body forward. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He stays on his feet, and he buries his head down inside the 5 to around the 2-yard line. Nate Ketteringham, a 1st and goal for North Dakota.
And that was just a quarterback power play. He fakes the handoff and then just keeps the ball. That play could break anywhere from A gap, clear outside the end, out in the C gap area, which it did.
He showed great patience to actually see the blockers up front kind of get a little lane for him. It was great patience on the run by Nate.
North Dakota brought 8 tight end and fullbacks on this trip, by the way. And now UND, Nate Ketteringham with 9 on the play clock, 10-19 to play in the first quarter. On the doorstep, and North Dakota is going to burn a timeout. So the clock will stop at 10:18 here in the first quarter. Timeout on the field, and University of North Dakota has it 1st down and goal to goal from the Sam Houston State 3-yard line.
This is a rebroadcast of University of North Dakota football's 2018 road contest at Sam Houston State. We'll continue with North Dakota's opening drive after we return from these important messages from our local station partners. Welcome back to this classic rebroadcast of North Dakota football taking on then number 5 Sam Houston State on Saturday, September 15th, 2018. Today's rebroadcast is being presented by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. North Dakota had a plan to march down the field and get a score if they won the opening toss, and so far it's gone according to plan. But they still have to finish it off as we return to Bauer Stadium.
First down and goal to go for the University of North Dakota. Brady Oliveira at the tail. Here's the give to Brady, and the Manitoba Moose is in the end zone. Touchdown, North Dakota. Touchdown, Brady Oliveira. And UND strikes first, leading it 6-0.
That was like a freight train. They give him the ball deep, and he just ran into the unbalanced, heavy side of that offensive line and blasted his way, bulldozed into the end zone.
10 plays, 70 yards on this drive as North Dakota won the toss. They took the ball, and as Mike Berg said, they wanted to establish something. 4:45 off that clock, and Brady Oliveira from 3 yards out, hard to stop a Moose, and he got into the end zone. North Dakota, I mentioned earlier, Mike, has brought 8 fullbacks and tight ends on this trip.
What's that tell you?
But they want to run the football.
Not a lot of spread formation there. And I'll tell you what, that was the classic offensive drive, offensive possession. You go to any coaching clinic, talk to any offensive coaches. The whole deal is to get 10-play drives. If you can put 10 plays together, something good's going to happen on the end of it.
Bearcat offense presented again by your Heartland Chevy dealers, and this is an impressive, especially a couple of those wide receivers. Nathan Stewart, everybody's favorite, Davion Davis around here. This guy could run for mayor of Huntsville. This is a special receiving core. Quarterback Mike Dare, a transfer from Rutgers, back to pass, play action pass on first down. Might be a hold. I don't see a flag. Rolling out, throws it downfield. It's incomplete. Pass intended downfield at around the 35-yard line. And they're trying to free up Nathan Stewart. And Stewart and Davis, as Mike Berg mentioned earlier, they are targeted. They're going to consume about 90%, you would think, of the targets tonight.
That's the game plan. It's a pretty simple game plan. Paul, did that ball bounce off of his face mask?
I think it did. It was actually a decent throw on the run. Not his best, but it got there. Could have been caught.
Twins to the right. That's the short side of the field. Twins on the near side. 2nd down and 10. Sam Houston State from their own 17 looks to the outside. Ball is caught, trying to free out. There's a stiff arm. Stewart trying to get free. Gets around the 20, around the 23-yard line. That'll bring up maybe a more manageable 3rd down for Sam Houston State. But good reaction on that perimeter. Who are the guys, Mike, that are going to be tested for the Fighting Hawks defense?
Corners and safeties for sure. They're going to be locked up. But the outside backers are going to have to cover some slot receivers and tight ends today.
Back to pass, and stepping into one is Dare, and the ball is caught. What a catch by Stewart. At the 40-yard line, it'll be a 1st down for the Bearcats. 17 yards on that strike, and Stewart went up and got it. Again, Nathan Stewart and Davion Davis. Stewart is 6 feet, 175 pounds. He's a junior. 2016, 2017 first team All-Southland Conference. He has 2,772 career yards and only a junior in his career. So 1st down and 10. First run play of the game, and Sam Houston State, this is Bulmer. Bulmer going left to right. Bulmer dives forward across midfield. That's a pickup of 11 yards and another 1st down for Sam Houston State, Remus Bulmer.
Well, and one running play that will always be effective for a team like this that likes to throw is that draw, that delay play. He's small, shifty, or short and shifty, not small by any means. He'll run over you.
3 receivers split wide to the right for Dare, the quarterback. Dare takes the snap out of the gun, looking under, has time, meets his man Stewart. Ball is caught at the North Dakota 44-yard line. And again, we're seeing that tempo. Tykees Johnson on the stop.
UND's got physical defensive backs. There's no question about that. And so even though they're going to make a play, go after it. Get that thing loose.
8:05 to go in the first quarter. North Dakota leading 7-0. Sam Houston State, their first possession. A gaping hole is open for Bulmer. Bulmer to the 40, stiff arms a defender, and Bulmer tackled by Holm at the 27-yard line. A 15-yard run for Remus Bulmer.
Dare checked into that. UND's lineman basically had that part of the part of the offensive line uncovered. He just checked into it and had outside zone play that nobody there to defend him.
Well, there's a lot of yards chewing up here by Sam Houston State, and the balance we talked about, the run and the pass. Trip receiver is split wide to the right. Single receiver, that's Stewart on the near side again. Handoff, and this time, not as much. Kyron Jackson is the other very talented back, 5'8", 180 pounds. He went to South Hills High School out of Fort Worth, Texas. A gain of 1, second down and 9.
And this is going to be interesting to watch because Sam Houston State will not always sub. That time they did. North Dakota ran players on.
One receiver split wide to the right. The ball is on the left hash. Here's a handoff to Kyron Jackson again. A gaping hole at the 25. At the 15, Jackson spins. He's being wrapped up by 4 defenders. Palmberg and Kennedy on the stop. Mike, huge holes at the front for Sam Houston State.
They had about 3 runs on this possession. They've just gashed UND's front. And if that's their idea of a run game, so far so good for them.
Man alive, we've seen Bulmer, we've seen Jackson. We've already seen what Nathan Stewart, the receiver, can do. First down and 10 from the North Dakota 14. They're in the red zone. Ball is on the right hash. Scott and Stewart, the receiver, split to the near side. Dropping back to pass is Dare. Dare goes over the middle, got a man, it's tight end. It's caught inside the 5 by the Montana State transfer, Woody Brandon. And he is leveled at around the 2, but again, a good ball and a great catch.
Great catch. Jordan Kennedy dropped him right there. In fact, knocked him back a little bit, but yeah, they're knocking on the door. One thing about this offense, they're impatient. They don't want to sit there and grind it out. They want to get right after you.
So Dare out of the gun. First down and goal for the North Dakota 2, and the quarterback Dare to keep it. He maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Donnell Rogers in there along with Tykees Johnson on the stop. Brings up second down and goal. They spread it out here. Twins on the near side. Single receiver. That's Nathan Stewart on the right side. A handoff. And no, play action pass. And a pass knocked out of the hands of Stewart. Nicely done by Dion Harris. Disrupting that. That was a great play action, Coach. I thought that was going inside to Kyron Jackson.
You know, he ran a quick slant from the 3-yard line. That's tough to defend. And Dion did a great job knocking that ball away.
So it is third down and goal. Davion Davis and Stewart are the 2 receivers split to the right. The big tight end on the near side. Here's an inside shovel pass. It is stopped at the 2. Jackson did not get in. On third down and goal, Jackson did not get in. It brings up fourth down and goal from the North Dakota 1-yard line.
And it looks like Sam Houston's going to go for it.
Oh, would this be something large for North Dakota to get a stop here on fourth down?
We saw him stop Washington on short yardage last week, so why not?
Kyron Jackson, the back receiver to the right, 1 to the left. Here's the handoff. Jackson slips. I don't know if he got in. I don't see a sign. Now the touchdown is good.
They
Jackson
might have to
just
take
got
a look
in.
at that. He was going down.
Jackson stumbled after receiving the handoff from Mike Dare, the quarterback. He may have stayed on long enough on his feet to get in. We'll see if they review this at all.
Guys, Tank Harris was in there on that defensive series.
Yes, he was. But that's going to be very close. I had a good look at it. I'd like to see them review this. It's very close.
If it stands, it'll be 13 plays and 83 yards that chews up 504. Now, nope, they're going to say it's good. So the touchdown stands for Kyron Jackson. A run of 1 yard on fourth down and goal. So on for the point after is Trey Honstein. Honstein will line her up. The snap, the placement, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And we're tied 7-all here at Bauer Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. 5:11 to play in the first quarter. Our score, North Dakota 7, Sam Houston State 7.
This is a special rebroadcast of North Dakota Fighting Hawks football at Sam Houston State in 2018. It's being presented by Shields and will continue with the remainder of the first quarter as this is Fighting Hawks football on the Home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Calling all UND sports fans. Each UND game day, whether home or away, visit your local Valley Dairy and Valley Car Wash for exclusive game day deals. Enjoy $1 off any breakfast or single topping personal pan size hot stuffed pizza at Valley Dairy. Or buy one, get one free car washes at any of the 4 Valley Car Wash locations. Welcome to Valley Dairy. Welcome to the new official convenience store of UND Athletics.
What makes your local Butler builder a better option for commercial construction? It starts with expert knowledge of the local codes and building conditions. And when you add the industry-leading product and efficiencies of Butler Manufacturing, the choice is even clearer. When you're ready to build, call Sand Steel Building Company at 701-594-4435 for the local expertise and know-how to complete your next building project.
Nothing better than spending summer on a pontoon. Ah, right. Summer's over. And you don't have a pontoon. Sounds like you need to go to Revolution's Power Sports and Marine for the pontoon blow-off. Save big on all remaining pontoons. And Revolution's has winter storage, winterization, and boat shrink wrap available. Don't miss out on a great deal at Revolution's Power Sports and Marine pontoon blow-off. We need something here. Perfect. Off I-29 and 32nd Avenue South.
It seems around here every town is a sports town. And why not? Sports were important to us growing up, and we want the same for our kids. To get involved, to compete, because that's how kids learn to lead. And why Farmers Union Insurance supports these programs. They know sports aren't just about building skill and strength, but about building character. Farmers Union Insurance. They don't just protect our community, they invest in it.
Nate from the Golf Center here, the man with the fancy shoes. We don't want this golf season to end, so come see us for everything you need to continue on warm and cozy. Push carts available now to keep that heart rate up on cool mornings. Rain jackets, windbreakers, and sweaters to layer up and make a full day of it. Gloves and hats to keep the important things comfortable. Golf balls in a variety of colors, as well as low compression balls to take the sting out of those frozen shots. All available at the Golf Center, where your game begins.
In 1951, on the corner of 8th and Main, Ted Hornbacher started a neighborhood grocery store grounded in family values, bringing you the highest quality meat and smokehouse along with the freshest produce, bakery, and deli products. And we take pride in serving you every day. Hornbacher's, freshness and quality since 1951. And remember, before or after the game, we have you covered with our quick and easy meals. Stop in today and check them out in our deli and meat departments. Hornbacher's, the official grocery store of North Dakota Athletics.
Let Grand Forks International Airport help you start your next vacation off on the right foot. Grand Forks International Airport offers flights to the sunny destinations of Orlando, Las Vegas, and Phoenix on Allegiant, and connections anywhere in the world through Minneapolis, St. Paul on Delta. Forget the hassles of long drives, parking nightmares, and stressful check-ins. The convenience of flying locally means less headaches and more time for you. Check out their new website at gfkairport.com. Grand Forks International Airport, your airport, simply grand.
Welcome back to this classic rebroadcast of North Dakota football presented by Shields. The Fighting Hawks have had a long-established drive to start the game, and the Bearcats have had one of their own as we return to Huntsville, Texas, with the game tied at 7 late in the first, and the Fighting Hawks beginning their second drive of the night.
First down and 10 for their own 25-yard line. Oliveira has the ball on the toss, working to the edge, and he is met again, just can't cut that corner, and so maybe a yard brings them second down and 9 for UND. Ketteringham out of the gun, sends receiver Wanzik from the right to the left, now back from the left to the right, now looks over the edge, and it's caught by Brady Oliveira, tiptoeing the sideline. Oliveira at the 35, it's just a matter of where he stepped out of bounds. They will say right around the yard to gain, and it will be a pickup of close to 9. That's what they needed, and that'll move the chains. Oliveira not only can do it with those big Robert Newhouse thighs, Coach, but he also can catch a ball.
He went up above the rim to catch that one.
Did you notice the shameless Dallas Cowboy plug in the state of Texas? First down and 10 for UND. On their own 35. Final minutes here in the first quarter. Pressure brought on the edge. Oliveira skips, stiff arms one defender. Oliveira stays on his feet. Tackled forward past the 45 to around the 46-yard line. That'll be another first down for North Dakota, Brady Oliveira.
That's the moose we're used to seeing right
yes.
there. He made the first guy miss. They brought a guy clean off the edge, an outside backer. Brady made him miss with a little jump cut and then turned it upfield and picked up the first down.
So first down and 10, 3:50 to play in the first quarter. We're knotted at 7 here from Elliott T. Bauer Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. Toss over to Oliveira again. Brady trying to squeeze his body. He carries that linebacker Brown for 3 yards. Those are 3 hard yards for Brady O.
There were 2 defenders, Paul, on him at the line of scrimmage, and he took them for a good 3-yard ride.
Well, it's been interesting here. You saw that previous run that went for some good yardage there was ran more directly at this defense. They have, but they set the edge early, and now they run inside of it a little bit, and so they're getting a few more yards per carry now.
Second down and 7 from the Sam Houston State 49-yard line, tied at 7. Santiago in motion. Here's a quick sweep handoff to John. John makes one cut, stays in, limps towards the 45 of Sam Houston State. He picks up 6 yards on that carry. He's going to be a yard short of a first down. North Dakota again into Bearcats territory.
Will Locke at corner made a good open field tackle there. A lot of people have been one-on-one with Santiago in the open field and came up empty. He just managed to get a hand on John and get him down.
Chatting with a number of Sam Houston State personnel up here, we were going over players. They said, we know who 22 is. You don't have to go over him. Third down and short. Third down and a yard. A snap, give. Oliveira has it and more. Breaks a tackle, 40, and then carries another Bearcat to the 39. On the stop, Derek Robertson, the defensive end. He's 6'4", by the way, and a big, big boy, 250 pounds, and Oliveira carried him for 2.5 yards.
This is a kind of a thunder and lightning attack by UND right now. They go quick with Santiago, hit quickly, and then Oliveira punches him in the mouth. They keep moving the chains.
First down and 10 for UND from the Bearcat 39. Play action pass underneath. That's Fiedler. Fiedler leapfrogs a Bearcat. And Fiedler jumps and then falls at the 34-yard line. That's a gain of close to 5, possibly 6 yards. Brings up second down. You know how North Dakota, I know the game is tied, but in my estimation, Coach, they're winning. When you can keep the ball out of the Bearcats' offense, you're winning.
Well, what you're doing, too, they've used a lot of formations and movement, a different wide selection of plays, and they're keeping that defense off balance. They don't know what to expect.
Derek Paulson, the big tight end, in motion on the left side. Here's a play-action pass. Ketteringham goes underneath. It's caught by Travis Toivonen. Toivonen dives ahead to around the 35. That is virtually no gain. Brings up third down. He might even lost a yard coming underneath. This would be a 52-yard field goal if North Dakota doesn't gain another yard. Big third down early in this one. 44 seconds to play in the first quarter. Third down and 6 for UND from the Bearcat 35. Ketteringham pass. It is incomplete. It was either Toivonen coming in or Adioti on the hash, and the pass is incomplete, and now fourth down decision time for UND.
I think he tried to thread that ball into Toivonen, who was kind of in the middle between 2 or 3 defenders. Would have been a very tough play.
Bubba Schweigert saying, you know what, Paul Rudolph, dial me something up here. Fourth down and 6 on the Bearcat 35. Mogg is the receiver, split to the short side. Now they'll bring Mogg as part of a trips formation to the near side. They'll bunch it up. Toivonen, Wanzik, and Mogg. Fourth down and 6. Will they snap this thing? Play clock is at 4. Play clock is at 3. Play clock's at 1. Snap. Ketteringham has it, and he's sacked. Ketteringham sacked on fourth down and 6. And the ball turned over to Sam Houston.
Pressure from the backside. When you line up in trips and you have just a tight end on one side, what that tells that corner is there's no threat here. And we've seen that a couple times now where Sam Houston will just bring that corner that's not going to be threatened by a wide receiver to bring him free, and he hit Ketteringham right in the back.
Sam Houston State will take it over on downs after the sack. First and 10 for their own 41-yard line, clad in Halloween orange. Elliott T. Bauer Stadium. 2 receivers, one split wide to the right. That's the short side. The ball is near the right hash. Remus Bulmer, who got in the end zone a little bit at game 1 win against Prairie View A&M in the backfield. Now they send Davion Davis in motion to the slot. Now Davis comes back on the near side. They fake the handoff to him, give it to Bulmer, and Bulmer off right tackle jumps across the 45 to around the 46-yard line. That's a pickup of 4. 22 seconds to play here in the first quarter, tied at 7. So it is second down and a long, I call it second down and 6. Sam Houston State for their own 45. Takes the snap, does Dare. Dare's in trouble. He's going down. He's in a mason jar. That's a Mason Bennett sack. Sacks are even at 1 as the first quarter comes to an end here from Dr. Elliott T. Bauer Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. The first quarter has come to an end. After 1 quarter of play, it's the University of North Dakota 7, Sam Houston State 7. You're listening to Fighting Hawks football on the home of Economy Radio Network.
This is a classic rebroadcast of North Dakota football taking on then number 5, Sam Houston State from September 15th, 2018. Today's broadcast is being presented by Shields. We'll get to second quarter action after these messages from our local stations on the home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. This is a rebroadcast of North Dakota's game against Sam Houston State in 2018. The then 5th-ranked Bearcats were in the midst of a 21-game home winning streak. Today's Classic Rewind is being presented by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. We now rejoin the broadcast crew led by Jack Michaels at Bauer Stadium.
Jack Michaels, Mike Berg, and Paul Ralston back at Elliott T. Bauer Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. We stayed in Houston, which is about, 43 minutes or so, or unless you're driving with Paul and driving in South Texas, you have to do at least 107 to keep up with the traffic. Now, I'm just kidding. Paul was magnificent on the drive over today. Paul, I don't believe, is going to be let into any more barbecue restaurants anymore. I think but it's a gorgeous area. They love their football, Paul, and he certainly, in Houston, is one of the booming, not that it needs to be any more booming cities, one of the biggest cities in the country, obviously, and growing, for goodness sakes.
We watched some football highlights last night, Jack. Friday night football frenzy, they call it. High school football here in the Houston area. Some incredible athletes there.
So we start the second quarter after the Mason Bennett sack of Mike Dare, the quarterback of Sam Houston State. And it brings up 3rd down and 12. The Bearcats have it from their own 39-yard line. Dare takes the snap, got plenty of time, slings it down the middle. It is caught by Stewart at the North Dakota 30. He's tackled at the 25-yard line by Noah Larson, the linebacker.
Bad matchup there. You get Dare on an inside linebacker. That's just money.
Yeah, Noah Larson just never was able to get his head around. He was in complete retrace the whole way, trying to trace the guy who was covering, and easy pitch and catch there.
Well, Nathan Stewart, here's the handoff to Remus Bulmer, and Bulmer's going to be tackled for a loss. That'll be a loss of 4, maybe 5 yards. As Tykees Johnson coming in, Tanner Polmberg was out there, and it's might even been a 6-yard loss, 2nd down and 16 from the North Dakota 31-yard line. Tied at 7. As we enter the second quarter, first minute deep, Dare out of the gun, sends Bulmer from his right hip to his left hip. Ball is on the left hash. There's the snap, cocking his arm. Back to pass, might have been hit as he threw. The ball is incomplete. North Dakota had pressure from that outside. Nicely done. Donnell Rogers was there, and I think Zeke Ott, defensive lineman, back there too.
Well, even though Dare was able to get rid of the ball, everybody was in his face. He had 2 or 3 guys in his face, and he just basically launched it toward the sideline to get rid of it. A lot of pressure.
So 3rd down and 15. Their field goal kicker, in case you're wondering, has hit 10 consecutive field goal attempts dating back to 2017. Now a timeout called on the field. Some of the early numbers, by the way, guys. Mike Dare is 6 of 9 for 79 yards here in the first half. We're a minute and change deep into the second quarter. Remus Bulmer, the running back, 4 carries for 24 yards. Cameron Jackson, 3 carries, 15 yards, and a 1-yard touchdown run. The 3rd down and 15 for Sam Houston State on the North Dakota 31-yard line. Dare has twins on the near side, twins on the short side. The ball is on the left hash at the North Dakota 31. Davion Davis in motion from left to right. Taking the snap is Dare. North Dakota bringing some pressure. Ball going downfield, and it's overshot. Incomplete. Deion Harris going stride for stride with the talented Nathan Stewart, the junior, and it brings up 4th down and 15.
And fellas, that was scouting and coaching. They emphasized all week. You get Davis out there by himself, trips away. Stewart. They're going to him, and Deion Harris had him all the way.
So the special teams, Trey Hunstein, is 6'1", 195-pound senior. He has made 10 consecutive field goals dating back to last season. Now, this is not going to be a chip shot, folks. This will be a 49-yard field goal attempt. His longest is 51. He's a 77% accuracy. The snap, the placement, the kick is on its way end over end. And a timeout called by Sam Houston State. What do we have? Let's go down to the field. So Sam Houston State called a timeout.
I don't know how many times in recent seasons Sam Houston has been pretty well into the second quarter and have only 7 points and be on their second possession.
Trey Honstein is coming back out there. He will attempt to kick this a 49-yarder. Now that last practice kick, if you will, before the timeout granted, had certainly enough leg on it. Again, his 39th game of his career. He is 34 for 44 in his career, his longest of 51. This would be a 49-yarder. The snap, the placement, the kick is on its way. A line drive kick, and it is going to be short to the left. No good, and North Dakota will have the ball. 1st and 10, North Dakota takes over from their own 31. Here's a quick toss, and Oliveira sidestepping one and picks up 3, maybe 4 yards. Again, it's not going to be what you call sexy coach at times. This is going to be a toss right, toss left, maybe a delay here, short crossing route there. But it's going to chew time up and hopefully get in the end zone eventually.
Well, and UND will use a lot of formations and movement. And really what that does is it gets the defense to delay just a bit. They need to look into the backfield. They're not able to tee off. And then they come back to running basic plays.
2nd down and 6 for UND from their own 35-yard line. Toivonen wants it to receivers. Here's a fake toss, play action. Ketteringham hit as he throws, going down for Toivonen. He adjusts, and the pass is incomplete.
And that ball didn't come out clean. Ketteringham was being pressured. Underthrew it a little bit. Toivonen, actually, the defender was on the other side of Toivonen. He just could not get 2 hands on it.
A big 3rd down here for the University of North Dakota. 3rd down and 6 from their own 35-yard line. This time 3 receivers split to the left of Nate Ketteringham. Ketteringham takes the snap. It's a quarterback run. Ketteringham's got a 1st down and more. 40 out to the 45-yard line. The official gets knocked over. The umpire there around the 46. He might have even made the tackle, Paul. There's Nate Ketteringham. And
there it was a quarterback draw rather than the quarterback power, which he ran before.
Nice tackle by Mark Warner.
Yes, nicely done. 1st down and 10 for UND from their own 45. Handoff to James Johannesson. Johannesson busts to the tackle. He butts over right side. Johannesson out to Sam Houston State's 45-yard line. And the transfer from the University of Minnesota has a 10-yard run and a 1st down for UND.
A nice change of pace there. You know, James Johannesson is just a hammer. We talk about it every time he gets into a ball game. He'll just pound you. And that time it was a solid 10 yards right up the A-gap.
Paul Rudolph has a nice plan today. You can tell there's 12:34 to play in the first half. Tied at 7. UND marching on the Sam Houston State 44. Back to passes. Ketteringham on 1st down. Slings it high and wide of Izzy Adiotti. Incomplete. Adrian Contreras, the safety and coverage. Clock stops at the incompletion. 12:24 to go in the 2nd quarter. 2nd down and 10 for UND. Ketteringham tossed near side. Santiago got a block. Santiago, can he get the edge? 40, and he's run out of bounds deep onto the track that circles this field by Darius Muta. Short of a 1st down. It brings up 3rd down, though, and manageable.
Well, he did get to the edge. He outran the perimeter and ended up in lane 2 on the track, but a good positive gain.
I'm going to check with Paul Ralston and see what I'd like to check Paul's gut every now and then. I'm going to ask you, Paul, if you think Santiago's going to bust one today, if you get that sense. 3rd down and 2 for UND. From the Sam Houston State 35. They need to get to the 34. Handoff to Oliveira. Oliveira stays on his feet. Look at him turning those legs. The Manitoba Moose is pushing the pile, and that's a 1st down for North Dakota.
He literally had orange hands and arms on him in the backfield. He took it beyond the sideline chain, picked up another 4 yards, and got it down to the 30.
I don't think he'd have it any other way. Honestly, I mean, that's like, okay, let's mano a mano now, fellas. I'll gain that yardage we need.
That was him on Portage Avenue in Winnipeg playing in traffic as a youth. There's a play-action pass. Ketteringham rolling out. Ketteringham looking downfield. Ketteringham going to keep it 30, 25, 20, and Ketteringham out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Nate Ketteringham is being a difference maker with his legs here in the 1st half.
Well, now that was a bootleg, and it wasn't naked. Ryan Tobin was out in front of him, and got a good block on the perimeter. He was still looking to throw the ball as he turned the corner, but Good yardage in front of him, lots of green, picked up the first.
15 yards in the Case IH red zone. Rethink productivity. First down and 10 from the 15-yard line. Handoff to Santiago, and he broad jumps a Bearcat, and a linebacker caught John in his stomach and tackled him. Tell me I'm wrong, Paul Ralston.
Well, you want to talk about if he'll break a big one today?
Yeah.
He's certainly running like he's just waiting for the opportunity. I mean, he probably would have dunked it if he would have been up there. I mean, he got up so high.
You see these things where kids stand and they broad jump onto crates?
Yeah, box jumps, and that was a vertical box jump where he just elevated over everyone.
There's a handoff to Santiago. He squeezes between two defenders on second down between DJ Curtis and Adrian Contreras. He got pinballed and dinged inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line, brings up third down and short. Caught it third down and 3.5, almost third down and 4 from the Sam Houston State 9-yard line. We are tied at 7 with 10:10 to play here in the first half.
You know what I like is this attack mentality of this offense. They want that offensive line to just maul the defense, control the line of scrimmage, and backs to break tackles, and that's exactly what we've been seeing.
The 11th play of the drive, third down and 3. Here's a play action. Kelleringham needs protection, slings it out, and throws it away. Graham DeVore, or Tyler Coyne, the nearest man in the area. That'll bring out Brady Leach. And North Dakota will try to take a lead with 9:48 to play here in the second quarter. Got a scoreboard update presented by Nodak Mutual Insurance coming up here shortly. So Brady Leach, who finally got one through, was 0-for-2 in the first game this season against Mississippi Valley State. This will be a 26-yarder to give North Dakota a lead. A 26-yard field goal attempt for Leach. The snap, the placement, the kick is on its way. Well hit. The ball is through. It's good, and North Dakota has taken a 10-7 lead. 9:46 to play here in the first half. Time out on the field. Our new score, University of North Dakota 10. Sam Houston State 7. This is Fighting Hawks football on the Home of Economy Radio Network.
You're listening to a classic rebroadcast of North Dakota football from September 15th, 2018, presented today by Shields. The Fighting Hawks establish another drive and get points. When we return, we'll talk to head coach Bubba Schweigert about the staggering statistic that is currently taking shape in the first half and maybe was the most important statistic for the game, as you're listening to classic Fighting Hawks football on the Home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Calling all UND sports fans. Each UND game day, whether home or away, visit your local Valley Dairy and Valley Car Wash for exclusive game day deals. Enjoy $1 off any breakfast or single topping personal pan size hot stuffed pizza at Valley Dairy. Or buy one, get one free car washes at any of the 4 Valley Car Wash locations. Welcome to Valley Dairy. Welcome to the new official convenience store of UND Athletics.
There's nothing better than a team of doctors working together, and that's what you'll get when you call the Badger Dental Group. The Badger Dental Group is a team that offers a host of dental services, including Invisalign orthodontics and natural-looking improvements like teeth whitening procedures, tooth-colored fillings, veneers, and CEREC. New patients are always welcome for regular cleanings, too. The Badger Dental Group. We cater to cowards.
Looking for more sports news and action during the season and beyond? Get all of your sports news 24/7 in the formats you want. E-papers, online, newsletters, print editions, and apps when you become a member of GrandForksHerald.com. Join today at GrandForksHerald.com/subscribe for Fighting Hawks coverage, The Rink Live, prep sports, and more. You'll never miss a play with membership at GrandForksHerald.com/subscribe.
Make quick work of outdoor chores this fall with Steel Power Equipment from Home of Economy. Steel continues to be the pro's choice for gas and battery-powered equipment. Interchangeable lithium-ion batteries add convenience to the mix, while gas power is tough to beat for the big jobs. Steel is the name to trust for dependability and value time after time.
Home of Economy, where your dollar buys more.
You've been on the farm your whole life. You've packed countless sack lunches over the years, preparing for the day ahead. Hard to imagine this day would come. Yeah, there's still the same fields, the same roads, the same hard work.
But soon it'll be time for someone new to carry on the legacy. The question is, are you prepared? No matter what the future holds, Ag Country is here to help you plan ahead.
At Ground Round in Grand Forks, the construction is done and the new patio room is open. Enjoy the beautiful days dining outside on the patio or inside in the fresh air and sunlight through the large screen doors. The Ground Round has also added a room available to reserve for private gatherings and meetings. Check out all the new items on the menu and, of course, always a great daily special. The Ground Round, 32nd Avenue South in Grand Forks.
For more than 65 years, Enbridge has been safely delivering the energy you rely on every day to fuel your vehicle, heat your home, and power commerce and manufacturing. At Enbridge, they are helping to fuel your quality of life right here in North Dakota. Safely transporting energy is always their top priority. Pipeline systems and facilities are designed with state-of-the-art features and designed to meet a variety of operating conditions and pressures because safety matters. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
In 1951, on the corner of 8th and Main, Ted Hornbacher started a neighborhood grocery store grounded in family values, bringing you the highest quality meat and smokehouse along with the freshest produce, bakery, and deli products. And we take pride in serving you every day. Hornbacher's, freshness and quality since 1951. And remember, before or after the game, we have you covered with our quick and easy meals. Stop in today and check them out in our deli and meat departments. Hornbacher's, the official grocery store of North Dakota Athletics.
We rejoin this classic broadcast of North Dakota football with North Dakota having just taken a 10-7 lead over the Sam Houston State Bearcats with just under 10 minutes to play in the second quarter. And according to head coach Bubba Schweigert, the key statistic of this game, and already becoming apparent through not quite a quarter and a half, has been time of possession.
It was very key. In the first half, we controlled the ball for 18 and a half minutes, and that was really important. And had played a tough game the week before against Washington, and in that game, in the third quarter, we were really toe-to-toe with Washington, and then once we got to the fourth, when the result of the game kind of came in doubt, we were trying to do the smart thing even the week before because we knew we had another tough game on the road going to Sam Houston. So, with the heat, humidity, we knew it was going to take our entire travel squad that we had down there, but getting off to a good start and that time of possession in the first half, I think, really played a role in the outcome of the game.
We now move ahead in the broadcast after Sam Houston State has hit a big return on the ensuing kickoff, but ran 3 plays and has had to punt from midfield.
Jack, look out to the east.
Ooh.
Thunder heads are
that looks
inching
like
a little bit closer.
It looks like it looks like that has a plan for the evening, that situational cloud formation over there. Well,
I will just put it this way. I'm so happy right now the sun has gone behind the structure over on the west. That is a glorious, glorious feeling when that ball of fire had just retreated back behind you guys.
Paul, not just because we're good friends. You've been in our thoughts the entire game. It looks warm down there. That Northland Ford scoring drive for North Dakota, 12 plays, 60 yards, 3:59. It ends in a 26-yard field goal by Brady Leach. And UND has taken a 10-7 lead. But you look at the 2 scoring drives for North Dakota. One 10 plays and 70 yards. That one 12 plays and 60 yards. And both combined have consumed over 8 minutes of clock. That's a recipe, boys and girls. Clock winding down, 8:03 to go until halftime. The punter for Sam Houston State is Matt McRobert. He's a freshman, a true freshman. So he sends it up, end over end. This will be fair caught by Santiago at his own 11. And that's where North Dakota will start 1st and 10. 7:45 to go here in the first half. Well, it's 1st down and 10 for North Dakota. Rolling out to his right is Kelleringham. Floats it downfield. He's got a man. It is caught on the far side of the 26. That's Noah Wanzik, and Wanzik brings it in. A pickup of 14 yards. 1st and 10 is North Dakota, and 1st down and 10. The toss to John Santiago. Santiago picks up about 5 yards, where he's brought down by Will Lockett, the defensive back. Well, for UND, with 7:12 to play in the first half, leading at 10-7. They've outgained Sam Houston State in this game. Close to 180 yards now of offense to Sam Houston State's 117.
Yeah, we had Sam Houston offside on that one, so they'll take the 5 instead of the 4.5.
There you go. You know what my dad would say? That's just good math.
Well, it's good math, plus it's first downing.
Plus you get the down, yeah, 1st and 5. Good to have you on board all across the Home of Economy Radio Network, across the Dakotas into Minnesota, Canada. Stretch handoff to Santiago's got a gaping hole 40, 45, 50. Santiago lowers his head at the Bearcat 45-yard line. How about that? Some 23 yards on the carry for John Santiago. I asked the question earlier, Coach. Is it a possibility that the hole can be too wide?
Well, that was a delay, and Ketteringham kind of moved out to his right, and then Santiago ran a counter delay back to his left. Nobody there, and I really like this play calling. They just kept Sam Houston so off balance. They don't know what to expect.
Ketteringham going to keep this himself, trying to get over right edge. Alex Cloyd trying to lay the block, and this is going to be a hold on Cloyd.
And that's a tough block on the perimeter with these athletic outside linebackers and what Sam Houston calls their rush defensive end.
It's a second holding penalty in North Dakota here tonight. 1st down and 20 for UND. There's the toss to John. John sheds one defender, sheds 2 defenders. He's at midfield, and he gets all those holding penalty yards nearly back on that run. A gain of nearly 10, call it 9, brings up 2nd down and 11.
How many guys did he make miss on that, Paul?
Well, there wasn't a lot there, but he just kind of planted the foot and kind of sifted his way forward. I think there was about 4, and then he ran through the 5th or the 6th one, so a heck of a run by John.
Brandon Franklin on that stop along with Derek Robertson. They're going to give him officially 8, so it'll bring up 2nd down and 12. Santiago has rushed for 53 yards here in the first half. North Dakota leading 10-7 into Bearcat territory from the Sam Houston State 48. Here's a stretch handoff. Santiago again sheds one. There's a flag coming in. Santiago can't get around the ankle tackle of Will Lockett, but right in the area of a holding again. We'll see what the call is. They're trying to free up Santiago. Southland officials here tonight. North Dakota again, no assessed penalties last week at Washington. Defensive holding this time, and that's against Derek Roberson, the defensive end. Out of San Antonio, Texas, Brennan High School.
Well, I didn't see that play. There was a big rugby scrum of players right in the middle there, and the flag came flying in, and like you said, you automatically kind of think offensive holding.
One thing these drives have done, the 10-play drive, the 13-play drive, this one so far 3 plays, but what it's done is taken a pretty good house at Bauer Stadium a little bit out of the game here in the first half.
Well, they're not used to seeing this kind of a football game, and I don't think anybody expected this today.
2nd down and 1. Ketteringham going downfield, and he's incomplete. Pass intended for Toivonen. It's a great time to take a shot on 2nd down and 1 from the Sam Houston State 37-yard line. Ketteringham's going to keep it himself, and judging by the line judge, he's going to spot this at the 35. And if that's spotted at the 35, that's another North Dakota first down. The first downs here in the first half, North Dakota with 14. Sam Houston State with 6. Got to move the chains. And with 4:49 to play, and remember, North Dakota in the first half, North Dakota won the toss, took the ball, went down the field, scored. Ketteringham to pass, loads up, throws low, it is brought in. What a catch on the far side. Nicely done on that far side perimeter as Noah Wanzik scoops it in.
And he was covered. He was blanketed on that. The ball was put right down low where only he could get it, and Wanzik made a heck of a catch down below his knees at about shin level.
Well, that's the one thing about the receivers for North Dakota, especially Wanzik and Toivonen. They're not always going to get great separation. They got to go get it, and Wanzik outfought his defender for it there.
Well, they always sell vertical.
That's
they
right.
Release, they're going to sell vertical, whether they're going deep or not.
No, it is 1st and 10. Draw a handoff to James Johannesson. Johannesson absorbs contact. Johannesson skips to the 10, and he's inside to the 9-yard line. Johannesson, 13 yards. He was knocked off his track, lifted one leg up, stayed on 1 foot, got both back, and gained 3 more yards.
Well, I think he just left a trail of wreckage as he went straight ahead. People can't tackle that man.
So North Dakota in the Case IH red zone. Rethink productivity. Case IH first down and goal from the Sam Houston State 9-yard line. Hand off to Johannesson again. James stiff arm stays up. 5, 4, 3. Down to the 2-yard line. A gain of 7, and it's second down and goal for North Dakota.
And once again, they lined up in an unbalanced formation. They had 3 tight ends on the field and ran into the heavy side. That's a lot of beef.
Second down and goal from the Sam Houston State 1-yard line. UND trying to add to their lead. High backfield behind the quarterback. Kenningham keeps it himself, spins into the end zone, and it's a touchdown for North Dakota. Nate Kenningham, 1-yard plunge, and it's 16-7 UND.
8-man line that time, fellas. They just had the 3 guys in the backfield. Everybody else on the line of scrimmage, and that was just a push.
Those Hogs right now doing a heck of a job. You know, there's a lot of youth in those ranks, you know, getting some big-time snaps here at a big-time level, and they're doing a job up front.
Jack, I think that might have been an 89-yard drive.
That was an 88-yard, 9-play drive. The Northland Ford drive, 9 plays, 88 yards. That's capped off by a Nate Kenningham 1-yard touchdown run. The point after Leach is up, and the point after is good. 3:13 to play until halftime. Our new score has the University of North Dakota 17. Sam Houston State 7. This is Fighting Hawks football on the home of Economy Radio Network from Learfield.
Another time-consuming drive results in yet another score for UND, and the formula in this first half was almost executed to perfection. We'll get you back to close out the opening half after these messages from our local station partners on the UND Football Home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. You're listening to this classic rebroadcast of North Dakota football's game against Sam Houston State on September 15th, 2018. Today's rebroadcast of UND football is being presented by Shields. The Fighting Hawks have just scored to make it 17-7, and now the Bearcats will try to respond before the end of the first half.
Mike will go back to the scoring drives. In the first quarter, 10 plays, 70 yards. Touchdown Oliveira. The second quarter, 12 plays, 60 yards. Leach, a 26-yard field goal. This drive, 9 plays, 88 yards. My question to you, Mike, what does that do to a Sam Houston State defense and a psyche here at Bauer Stadium?
The culture here is we get the ball, we score. It's a track meet. They have taken that away. And there's nobody more impatient on the face of the earth than a high-scoring offensive coordinator. They become impatient, they become frustrated, and all of a sudden they want it right now. And obviously it's given UND's defense a chance to rest. This is only coming up now the 4th possession for Sam Houston. And so UND should have gas left in their tank, obviously, for the rest of this half and going into the second half.
Well, Leach to tee it off. The man on the near side is Jalen Harris. Remember, he returned a kick 59 yards. Well, Leach addresses the ball at the 35 and sends one short. And Harris is going to catch it at the 12, to the 15, to the 20. Trying to get outside again, cuts inside. Finally driven down by DeJohn Murray. But around the, I'm going to mark that around the 34-yard line. We'll see where they put that eventually because he was tackled forward. Now they're standing around the the 26-yard line.
I really like the way DeJohn Murray plays. He's not a starter. He's a physical, tough kid. He works hard, does everything he can to get on the field. He's pretty much a special teams player, but he's physical. He will go after you.
You know, the 2 receivers near side. Tevin Severson is the receiver split wide to the left. We'll see if they go to the air. They will. Dare to pass. Dare trying to find a spot to run. He's got room to run. He's being chased out of bounds at the 35-yard line. There is a flag at around the 25-yard line where that offensive line was trying to protect their quarterback, Mike Dare. I saw the pressure, Mike. Austin Cieslak was in the neighborhood, kind of caught around the perimeter, and we'll see what the call. Yeah, holding penalty, and you kind of saw, is that deep?
They're calling Jalen Morrison for a hold.
Was that the?
Yeah, they called it on Jalen Morrison.
The second
nose tackle.
It's a second defensive holding on a lineman.
On a run play.
On a run play. Well, it's first down and 10 for Sam Houston State from their own 44-yard line. And on the ground, they'll stay with Cameron Jackson, and Jackson tackled near the backfield. I don't know if he got back to the line of scrimmage. Tanner Palmberg was there for UND.
Well, they're reading Tanner Palmberg on the RPO, and Tanner makes the tackle. So misread that time by the quarterback.
And it's 2nd down and 10. 2nd down and 10. Sam Houston State on their own 44. Back to pass is Dare. Dare slings it. It is caught in the perimeter. And nearly breaking it is Davion Davis. Davis tackled after a gain of close to 13 by Ty Shannon.
Whoa. That'll take your breath away from you.
Man alive, can those. That's Davion Davis, by the way. He's redefined numbers in the Southland Conference. 2:20 to play in the second quarter. 17-7. North Dakota leading by 10. Sam Houston State gets the ball to start the second half. Back to pass again. Making the catch again, Davion Davis. And Davis knocked it out of bounds by Kennedy.
North Dakota struggles mightily, I think, against tempo. We've seen it over the years. It has been the one elixir against North Dakota, down linemen that can rush the passer well. They throw it quickly. They don't get there.
So there's 1st down and 10 for Sam Houston State from the North Dakota 29. Run play going nowhere is big old Zeke Ott. Just leveled his body on Cameron Jackson. Loss of 2, 2nd down and 12. 1:49 to play here in the first half. 17-7. Sam Houston State trailing. North Dakota has a 10-point lead. But Sam Houston State, 2nd down and a dozen from the UND 32-yard line. Twin receivers to the short side, the left. That's where Dare's looking. Now Dare comes underneath, and the ball is dropped incomplete. Well, you try to find Cameron Jackson out of the backfield, much like North Dakota found Izzy Adiotti in the first half. It is incomplete. It stops the clock, but it brings up 3rd down and 12.
Well, UND has I don't know if that's Mason Bennett down. Looks like he's got a cramp in his right calf. Zeke Ott, I believe.
It's actually when he went hurtling over there he didn't know it was going to be incomplete, and then he tried to hurdle the player that wasn't able to come up with it, and he got his leg kind of caught on the turf or the player, and you could tell it bothered him right from the get-go, and he went right down.
Today's rebroadcast of North Dakota football is being presented by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. As we have an injury timeout, we'll break as this is Classic North Dakota football on the Home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite UND players on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. UND Pride, powered locally.
What makes your local Butler builder a better option for commercial construction? It starts with expert knowledge of the local codes and building conditions. And when you add the industry-leading product and efficiencies of Butler Manufacturing, the choice is even clearer. When you're ready to build, call Sand Steel Building Company at 701-594-4435 for the local expertise and know-how to complete your next building project.
When another Alberta Clipper blows in, nothing keeps you on the job longer than Carhartt work gear from Home of Economy. Ask anyone working outdoors. They'll tell you Carhartt makes the warmest work gear available. Traditional brown duck, Yukon Extremes, Carhartt Originals, and FR. They're all beyond tough and ready to work as hard as you do. See us today for the most sizes, styles, and selections.
Home of Economy, where your dollar buys more.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now, hip. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
It seems around here every town is a sports town. And why not? Sports were important to us growing up, and we want the same for our kids. To get involved, to compete, because that's how kids learn to lead. and why Farmers Union Insurance supports these programs. They know sports aren't just about building skill and strength, but about building character. Farmers Union Insurance. They don't just protect our community, they invest in it.
Nate from the Golf Center here, the man with the fancy shoes. We don't want this golf season to end, so come see us for everything you need to continue on warm and cozy. Push carts available now to keep that heart rate up on cool mornings. Rain jackets, windbreakers, and sweaters to layer up and make a full day of it. Gloves and hats to keep the important things comfortable. Golf balls in a variety of colors, as well as low compression balls to take the sting out of those frozen shots. All available at the Golf Center, where your game begins.
In 1951, on the corner of 8th and Main, Ted Hornbacher started a neighborhood grocery store grounded in family values, bringing you the highest quality meat and smokehouse along with the freshest produce, bakery, and deli products. And we take pride in serving you every day. Hornbacher's, freshness and quality since 1951. And remember, before or after the game, we have you covered with our quick and easy meals. Stop in today and check them out in our deli and meat departments. Hornbacher's, the official grocery store of North Dakota Athletics.
Welcome back to this rebroadcast of University of North Dakota football presented by Shields. Today's rebroadcast is from Saturday, September 15th, 2018, as we now return to Bowers Stadium in Huntsville, Texas.
91 seconds to play in the second quarter. And 3rd down and 12 for Sam Houston State. The ball is on the North Dakota 31-yard line. This drive for the Bearcats, 6 plays and 43 yards. Sam Houston State, dating back to 2009, folks, are 50-3. Here at LUT Bowers Stadium, they've won 21 consecutive games, but they trailed North Dakota 17-7. This is a big 3rd down. 3rd down and a dozen. Need to get to the 19-yard line. Taking the snap is Dare. Dare's got time, got a man, Davion Davis. Davis is tripped up at the 23. Excellent play by Jackson, turner-over drive.
He made a huge play because Davis had first down all over that. And got it down by the ankles and going to come up short. Field goal attempt now.
Now that's got to be considered a little bit of a victory right there, as Trey Honstein, who had his 10 consecutive field goal makes, snapped with a miss from 49 earlier. And this one will be a 41-yarder. So Honstein will attempt a 41-yard field goal here with 45 seconds to play until halftime. He's going to try to bring his Bearcats within a touchdown. The snap, the placement, the kick is on its way. Plenty of leg. It is in between the uprights. Good. 41-yard field goal in for Sam Houston State. They pulled within 7 at 17-10 North Dakota. Little 8-play, 51-yard drive. North Dakota's lead cut to 7. Evan Holm and John Santiago back deep to our right. That's the south side. Little breeze picking up now, by the way, from the south. So Huntston will be kicking into a breeze. He sends it. A little bit of a line drive. It is taken on a short hop by Santiago at his 5 to his 10 to the 15 to the 20, and he is wrapped up, dumped, and tackled there. Tristan McCullough made the initial hit. With 33 seconds on the clock. 1st down and 10 from their own 17. Mike, just keep it on the floor here.
Yep, there's no reason to do anything but get out of this half. Get the big bodies in there, take a knee, get out of here.
So they will, with 28 seconds, the final seconds will tick away here in the first half. North Dakota with 240 yards of offense here in the first half. Sam Houston State 158. Maybe penalties, but Bubba Schweigert's got to be happy so far with the first half today. Ball will track down Coach.
Here we are, Coach. I tell you what, a first half of football where you really got the game going the way you wanted to play it.
Yeah, we're running the football, controlling the ball. We just got to tighten up the pass coverage a little bit, with too high a percentage of completions for them.
Defensively, I would say that you're getting some pressure, not always getting the finish on the pressure.
Yeah, we got to get them down. Going to have to get in the long yardage situations so the advantage goes to us.
We'll send it back upstairs to you guys.
All righty, Paul. Appreciate that. And we're at halftime here. The Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report is coming up next. At the break from LUT Bowers Stadium in Huntsville, Texas, it's the University of North Dakota 17, Sam Houston State 10. This is Fighting Hawks football on the Home of Economy Radio Network from Learfield.
This is a classic rebroadcast of North Dakota's September 15th, 2018 game at then 5th-ranked Sam Houston State. This was a team that, coming into this night, was leading FCS football for most consecutive home wins with 21. The first half is in the books. Third quarter action will start next after these messages from our local stations as you're listening to UND Football on the Home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Welcome back to coverage of this rebroadcast of UND football versus Sam Houston State. Remember, North Dakota won the coin toss, took the ball, and scored a touchdown on the game's opening drive, but Sam Houston State got a late first-half field goal and would be looking to tie things as they started with the ball in the third quarter.
The second-half kick is in the air, taken by Harris inside his own 30, and brings it out. A return across the... Now they're going to put it across the 40-yard line at the 43-yard line. Be 1st and 10 for the Bearcats here as we begin the second half of play. Jack Michaels, Mike Berg, and Paul Ralston from Elliott T. Bauer Stadium here in Huntsville, Texas. 17-10 might be one of those initial first big drives here if North Dakota's defense can bow up. And here's a quick pass on the outside to Scott. Catch is made. Shoved out of bounds by Dion Harris. That's a gain of 11 for Sam Houston State on 1st down and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Good shifty run here by Cameron Jackson. Jackson trying to shed a tackle, but Tanner Palmberg on his ankle able to make that stop, but not before. A gain of 5 brings up 2nd down and 5. Good to have you on board tonight. All across the Home of Economy Radio Network. Tracy Pallion, our executive producer. Jack, Mike, and Paul here. In motion is Davion Davis out of the slot now. Returns and takes the sweep handoff to the left side. Davis broke a tackle. He's at the 30. Got a block on the outside. He's at the 20, the 15. A flag comes in, and this might be a little block at the back that freed up Davion Davis. Kennedy ends up getting the tackle, but this one might be coming back. It'll go down as a hold on Tyler Scott. Scott, the receiver on the outside, trying to free up Davion Davis.
Fellas, did you see Davis split those two tacklers? I mean, there were two guys in position to take him down. He had a burst that on film will look like he kicked it into another gear and just split the two tacklers.
He's the all-time leader in touchdown receptions, by the way, in Sam Houston State history. Had over 1,200 yards receiving last season. 1st down and 10, handoff to Cameron Jackson. Jackson patiently running, sheds 1 tackle and sheds 2 tackles, sheds 3 tackles. Jackson sheds 4 tackles. He's at the 21-yard line. A gain of 14. North Dakota has got to tackle better.
You know, the game of football does not stop just because you hit somebody. You need to finish. He should have been stopped at the line of scrimmage or maybe a 1 or 2 yard gain.
1st down and 10 for the North Dakota 21. Mike Dare out of the gun, takes the snap, now runs inside, looking downfield. He's going to keep it on the ground, and he cuts out of bounds at the 15-yard line. They mark him down to the 14. That's a gain of close to 7 on that scramble by Dare.
This is where you bear down and you find something extra. I know you're hot, you're tired, you're gassed. So what? You got all next week to rest.
Hasn't been a turnover in this game. Here's a shovel pass inside, cutting in, now cutting out. 1 extra move, cutting back inside is Davion Davis. And Davion Davis wrapped up finally by Noah Larson. UND continues with the play that draws the crowd, but I don't believe I see an excessive, unnecessary flag. Now they tell the crowd that it's a 1st and goal now for Sam Houston State. The Bearcats are knocking on North Dakota's door. 1st down and goal from the UND 4-yard line. It hasn't taken the Bearcats long here in the second half. There's got Cameron Jackson on his left hip, fullback over the right end. In motion is Scott. Dare takes the snap, goes for the fade round the end zone on Holm. Holm goes up and knocks it away. Pass intended for Davion Davis. Evan Holm there to break it up.
That's almost a given on the goal line to run that fade with either Davis or Stewart. They get him out there one-on-one, singled up. Evan Holm played that really, really well.
Dave Bowens is checked in. Scott, part of that receiver package, split to the left. Stewart, watch him. He's on the near side as Dare out of the gun. On 2nd down and goal from the North Dakota 4. Dare has it on the ground. Nope. Quarterback keep in the pocket. Throws it back at the end zone. Incomplete. Here comes the flag. Dion Harris caught holding on to Nathan Stewart in the end zone. Pass interference, 1st down and goal for Sam Houston State. Trailing 17-10 early portions of the second quarter. Mike Dare, the Rutgers transfer at quarterback, out of the gun, takes the handoff, give it to Jackson. Jackson's got room. He's in. Touchdown, Bearcats. Boy, they came out in the second half and went right at that UND defense.
Well, just what we feared, and what UND needs to do now is answer.
A drive that took 8 plays and 57 yards. Jackson, a 2-yard touchdown run over left guard, left tackle. We got Honstein on for the point after attempt here at the 12-17 mark of the third quarter. This would tie the game. The snap, the placement, the extra point is up, and the extra point is good. 12-17 to go here in the third quarter. Time on the field. We've got a new score. Our score now reads North Dakota 17, Sam Houston State 17. This is Fighting Hawks football, the home of Economy Radio Network from Learfield.
North Dakota would see the game tied in a blink of an eye by the Bearcats to start the third quarter. Today's rebroadcast is being presented by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. This is North Dakota football on the home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
Hey, Hawks fans, the pigskin is flying, pads are popping, and Shields wants to know, are you geared up? Got a jersey that needs retiring? Need a brand new hat with some fresh luck? For everything you want to wear, wave, sit on, toss around, drink from, grill on, and stick to your car. If it says Fighting Hawks, Shields has it. Shields, proud supporter of Fighting Hawks football and football fans everywhere. In Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite UND players on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. UND Pride, powered locally.
For more than 65 years, Enbridge has been safely delivering the energy you rely on every day to fuel your vehicle, heat your home, and power commerce and manufacturing. At Enbridge, they are helping to fuel your quality of life right here in North Dakota. Safely transporting energy is always their top priority. Pipeline systems and facilities are designed with state-of-the-art features and designed to meet a variety of operating conditions and pressures because safety matters. Learn more at enbridge.com.
It seems around here every town is a sports town. And why not? Sports were important to us growing up, and we want the same for our kids. To get involved, to compete, because that's how kids learn to lead. And why Farmers Union Insurance supports these programs. They know sports aren't just about building skill and strength, but about building character. Farmers Union Insurance. They don't just protect our community, they invest in it.
Nate from the Golf Center here, the man with the fancy shoes. Remember this, it's always the club's fault. Set up an appointment or stop in for a custom fitting experience to find where your misses are coming from. It's a proven fact that once you find clubs with the correct specifications, you will make a more fluid swing and improved shot impact pattern, giving you a tighter dispersion and flight consistency. In turn, you're going to hit better shots and have more fun after your fitting at the Golf Center, where your game begins.
Let Grand Forks International Airport help you start your next vacation off on the right foot. Grand Forks International Airport offers flights to the sunny destinations of Orlando, Las Vegas, and Phoenix on Allegiant, and connections anywhere in the world through Minneapolis, St. Paul on Delta. Forget the hassles of long drives, parking nightmares, and stressful check-ins. The convenience of flying locally means less headaches and more time for you. Check out their new website at gfkairport.com. Grand Forks International Airport, your airport, simply grand.
Looking for more sports news and action during the season and beyond? Get all of your sports news 24/7 in the formats you want. E-papers, online, newsletters, print editions, and apps when you become a member of GrandForksHerald.com. Join today at GrandForksHerald.com/subscribe for Fighting Hawks coverage, The Rink Live, prep sports, and more. You'll never miss a play with membership at GrandForksHerald.com/subscribe.
In 1951, on the corner of 8th and Main, Ted Hornbacher started a neighborhood grocery store grounded in family values, bringing you the highest quality meat and smokehouse along with the freshest produce, bakery, and deli products. And we take pride in serving you every day. Hornbacher's, freshness and quality since 1951. And remember, before or after the game, we have you covered with our quick and easy meals. Stop in today and check them out in our deli and meat departments. Hornbacher's, the official grocery store of North Dakota Athletics.
Welcome back to this classic rebroadcast of UND football's 2018 matchup against then number 5, Sam Houston State from Huntsville, Texas. It was a textbook typical Sam Houston State possession to start the second half to tie the game for the Bearcats. We now rejoin North Dakota on the ensuing possession for a key third down.
Big third down early in the second half for North Dakota. Trying to keep the leverage on Sam Houston State. Ketteringham to pass. He's got a man in the flat, but he overshot him. Intended for Noah Wanzig. He had him, and Nate Ketteringham that time led him a little bit too far to the outside, and UND will have to punt it away.
Wanzig clearly open for the first down. Would have had the first down and more, and Nate Ketteringham just misfired.
Wow. Could now be careful, because back to return Davion Davis. Electric. And for UND, finally going to punt the ball here as Cade Peterson to send it away. It's blocked at the 5. It is blocked. Peterson picks it up. And Sam Houston State will tackle Peterson, but I wonder if they're going to rule him down inside the 5-yard line of the 4. That punt was blocked, and everybody could see it, by Mark Fernandez, a big old tight end. Mark Fernandez in on the block.
This opening 4 minutes has been an absolute disaster by North Dakota in every sense of the word.
This has become a very quick nightmare, fellas, and that punt blocked. UND got out of their 3-man shield, tried to get an extra guy out for coverage, and so they had a 2-man shield blocked right up the middle.
I won't tell you the percentages of teams that win or lose when there's a block punt, Coach, but it doesn't bode well for the team that has one blocked. North Dakota has to do something special here to try to keep Sam Houston State out of the end zone. The momentum has shifted, the pendulum swinging to the team clad in orange. First and goal for the North Dakota 4. Dare back to pass. He's under pressure, and he's going down. A sack. This time for UND, Tyron Frieda on the sack.
They've literally brought, I think, all 4 linebackers. Left the secondary in man-to-man coverage in the doubles, wide doubles formation, and Dare had nowhere to go.
Well, Frieda, the boy from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, comes to North Dakota by way of Garden City Community College. So it's second down and goal for the North Dakota 19-yard line. Big play there for the UND defense on first and goal. Dare takes the snap, back to pass again, now flushed out, looking to the edge. He gets to the 15. Frieda forced him out of bounds along with Deion Harris at the 11-yard line. It brings up third down and goal for the 11. We have, for the moment, an injured Bearcat on the 27-yard line. Third down and goal to go for Sam Houston State. Dropping back in the pocket is the quarterback, Mike Dare. Dare flushed out of the pocket. Mason Bennett brings him down, and there's a flag on the play. So a sack and a flag and a possible, what do we have?
I think Austin Cieslak was held.
Indeed. So North Dakota will decline the penalty. They'll take the sack. It'll be fourth down, and they'll hold Sam Houston State to a field goal attempt. The second sack of the day for Mason Bennett. So Honstein on, this time a chip shot for a kid of his caliber. The ball will be spotted on the right hash and held there. It'll be a 34-yard field goal attempt, and it would give Sam Houston State their first lead of the game. The snap, the placement, the kick is on its way, and the kick is good. 34-yard field goal in for Sam Houston State, and they lead it now 20-17. Mike, you can survive 3, but after that, Time to get this machine moving.
Well, I don't want to say the name or the word 3 with a 3 and out now. What UND needs to do is find a way to move the chains again, resurrect what they did the first half offensively, make plays, no excuses. Go after these guys, develop that attack mentality again, and get Sam Houston questioning their own defense.
That drive, that scoring drive, guys, 4 plays, negative 12 yards and 69 seconds.
At this juncture of the third quarter, North Dakota just could not do anything with the ball after falling behind 20-17. They did flip the field on the punt to the Sam Houston State 18. We now move coverage ahead as Sam Houston State is in the midst of a 13-play drive.
You want to talk about mixing plays, Coach. Sam Houston State, little shovel pass here, straight run here, quick pass on the outside there.
You know what strikes me now, Jack, is their attitude, their tempo, just almost the way they're carrying themselves, their assertiveness. That's just a whole different football team.
First down and 10, handoff, Jackson, Kirov. Jackson picks up 2 or 3. Inside there, making the initial hit was Steve Greer. Steve Greer, who had a big week last week at Washington, you were singing his praises. He got at least around the ankles of Jackson. And by the way, that doesn't guarantee you anything apparently tonight.
No, not with these guys. And this is a different football team when they're ahead. I mean, it's 2 different football teams. They look at that scoreboard and see themselves ahead. They play like front runners.
First look at Jacoby Butler. He's a running back, split wide to the left. It is 2nd down and 7. Inside the 30, called the 28-yard line of North Dakota. Leading by a field goal. Back to pass Dare. That little bubble set up on the outside. It is caught and a first down and more. Well, they find Nathan Stewart. And once Stewart gets a little bit of freedom, gets those legs moving inside the 20 to around the 19, 18-yard line. That's another first down. The victory here on this possession will be if North Dakota can just hold Sam Houston State to 3.
The way Sam Houston's moving the ball right now, second play in a row there in an empty backfield. And they've got UND spread across the field, and those are bad matchups for the UND secondary against these receivers.
Well, 1st and 10 for the North Dakota 20. Back to pass Dare, now flushed out of the pocket. Dare's got room. He's got a lot of room, and he's ankle tackled by Gameday at the 6-yard line. There's a gain of 13 by the quarterback, Mike Dare.
Quarterback draw out of empty. That's the first thing you think of when you see empty. He's limping a little bit. He got whacked, and I'd like to see somebody light him up when he decides to run.
Now he's feeling very confident. 1st and goal for Sam Houston State. They keep it on the ground and going nowhere. Tackled in the backfield on an excellent defensive play. Andre Steiger brings down the Bearcat back for a loss.
You almost had to know they were going to run the ball there because right now Dare is having a hard time putting weight on the leg.
Oh, you're right, Paul. It looks like his left knee, that already has a brace on it, I might add, that left knee. So it is 2nd and goal from the North Dakota 10-yard line, leading 20-17. Sam Houston State trying to go up a couple of scores here. Dare calling for it, takes a high snap, floats a ball, fade. It is incomplete. Evan Holm in coverage on the near side. Nathan Stewart, the intended receiver.
And, Coach, that's the second time Evan Holm's been picked on in a situation like that, and both times he's going to grade very well tonight.
He is going to grade very well tonight. He's really held up, and really he's a tough, athletic kid. He almost dares you to throw to him.
On his 3rd down and goal for Sam Houston State, again from the North Dakota 10-yard line. Twin receivers, wide to the left, including the big tight end who they like a lot. He's the transfer from Montana State. Davion Davis in motion from right to left. North Dakota bringing some pressure. They go fade again. Stewart wrestling again with Evan Holm. They let the boys play unless a flag came out.
No flag.
It is incomplete. That's 3 times Evan Holm has come up large, and they force Sam Houston State to attempt a field goal, which even if made, will keep North Dakota just a score away. 3:53 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Note to Mr. Dare, they play a little football in Edina, Minnesota, too, and Evan Holm knows what he's doing. So
this is what we call for this senior chip shot. 28-yard field goal attempt for Hornstein here in the 3rd quarter. Snap placement, kick is on its way, and the kick is good. 3:49 to play in the 3rd quarter, and Sam Houston State leads by 6. Timeout on the field with 3:49 to go in the quarter. Our new score, Sam Houston State 23, North Dakota 17. You're listening to Fighting Hawks football, the home of the Economy Radio Network.
Needless to say, for the Fighting Hawks, it was mostly a third quarter to forget. The remainder of the third quarter resulted in short series and punts for both teams. Head coach Bubba Schweigert says that despite how difficult North Dakota made things for themselves in the third quarter, there was one area that cannot be overlooked as to why UND still had a chance to win.
And they outscored us 13-0 in the third quarter, but was really key, forcing 2 field goals. You know, if you can force field goals and not give up touchdowns, that gives your team momentum back. And the big one that was really key, we had an unfortunate situation, got a punt block. They got the ball in the 4-yard line, and in 3 plays went backwards, minus 12 yards. And that was really key in the game. That game was 17-17. We have a miscue on special teams. They blocked the punt, and we were able to force a field goal. I thought that was critical in the outcome of that game. And just, you need to make those plays at times in a game. You know, when the momentum is against you, find a way to get that momentum back. And that did give us momentum back, even though they came back and hit another field goal. But once again, we tightened up in the red zone and kept it a one-possession game when they went up at the end of the third.
You're listening to a classic rebroadcast of North Dakota football from their game on September 15th, 2018 against Sam Houston State. We'll get to fourth quarter action after these messages from our local stations. Welcome back to this classic rewind broadcast of UND football's 2018 meeting with Sam Houston State. Today's rebroadcast is being presented by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields, right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. The fourth quarter started with a North Dakota punt, and we rejoined the broadcast with the Bearcats getting the ball at their own 19 with just under 12 minutes to play in the game.
This now becomes really a defensive stance here. North Dakota cannot afford, Coach, to give up even a field goal on this one, I got to believe.
Hey, this defense has just been playing their hearts out here. And one thing I will say for sure, I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but nobody on his defense is backing down. And they've managed to get Sam Houston off the field in the last possession. Got to do it again.
Quick pass, and it's caught low. If it didn't hit the turf, on a quick slant, Davion Davis makes the catch. Andre Steiger in coverage makes the tackle, but it's a 9-yard gain. He took that from his shoe tops.
Yeah, first time we've seen that slant out of trips, and he was matched up on Andre Steiger, an outside linebacker. Andre's out there again on him. That's a tough matchup, fellas.
Stevenson, Scott, Davis split wide to the right. Back to pass is Dare. Dare, his pass knocked down by Donnell Rogers. Tried to get it out to Davion Davis in the flat, and Donnell Rogers went up, raised his hands, which they tried to do so. That arm was cocked and knocked it away, incomplete.
You get those hands up there, and you get them in a diamond shape, so you got them together, and they don't throw the ball through your hands, and he just batted it down.
What brings them 3rd down and 1 at big old transfer tight end Woody Brandom. Near side, now Cameron Jackson, the running back, goes to the right hip of Mike Dare out of the gun. The handoff to Cameron Jackson. Jackson stutters, an extra move, and this one's enough to get a first down where he's wrapped up by Jackson Turner.
Looked like he might be stopped in the backfield, made a jump cut, made a couple guys miss, and picked up the first.
11:08 to play in the fourth quarter. Well, Sam Houston State leading 23-17. And a fresh set of downs. Here's a little flea flick. It's nearly knocked free. Dare going downfield. He's got a man. It's Stewart. It is popped up by Shannon. Flag comes out. Pass interference, North Dakota.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'll have to watch. It looked like his hand came in there when the ball arrived. He certainly was not holding him or restricting him from running his route.
I'll tell you this. I'll take the penalty rather than have it. You know, we've seen it. Didn't we see it the year that North Dakota made the playoffs where just take the PI instead? You tried to battle for the ball and it ended up in a Richmond touchdown or whatever it was.
You're right.
You know.
But I hear you too, Paul. What's disheartening here, and you've got a better view right there from the field level, it really did look like Ty Shannon had some pretty good coverage on that and got a hand up late. Now, the opposite hand, maybe that was in early. The difference between a college and a pro game, obviously, Coach, it's not a spot of the foul penalty. First down and 10, Mike Dare back to pass again. Cocks his arm. Now he's in trouble. He gets rid of it. Near side throws it away. Jackson Turner that time was hanging out in Dare's house.
A lot of pressure.
Here's an interesting question for you, Coach. A team that likes to play fast and tempo, they're not necessarily a team that can go and grind out and milk out a clock, are they?
I don't think they want to. I think their mentality is we have the ball. It's fast break basketball. Let's go.
Yeah, the way their defense is playing here in the second half, they can afford to do that.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't work for them here, they punt the ball. UND, it's a long way to go, and they haven't shown they can move the chains at all this half.
Well, the chain's going to move back 5 yards. We're going to get a full start penalty in Sam Houston State, it appears, here on second down and 10. 10:39 to play in the fourth quarter, 23-17. Sam Houston State leading with the football, but it's second down and 15 for the Bearcats. From their own 43-yard line, Mike Dare, the quarterback. The Rutgers transfer, North Dakota brings a blitz, and now Dare's in trouble. He is going to go down, wrapped up and dropped by Lenny Nelson the fourth. So Lenny came in like he was shot out of a Texas cannon.
Safety blitz in that situation, and Dare just, there were more rushers than there were blockers. He had nowhere to go, and luckily hung on to that ball.
Well, that makes for a third down and 21, boys and girls. Third down and 21, and Sam Houston State is backed up to their own 37-yard line.
How about an interception in here?
Mike Dare has got 5 receivers going out, empty backfield.
Quarterback draw, and they'll punt the ball.
Third down and long. They screen it out. They set it up on the outside, and Davion Davis can get away from one defender, but not two, as Jordan Kennedy and Donnell Rogers bring him down. Fourth down, and Sam Houston has to punt it away. 9:42 and winding down here in the fourth quarter. UND trailing by 6. Can this be the drive for UND?
Running out of time, guys.
Can this one be the drive, Mike?
Second possession that UND is in a row that UND has forced Sam Houston to punt. Eventually, UND has had 4 possessions this half. 1 block punt and 3 punts that got off. They need to score.
Matt McRobert gets it off. Well, there was a pretty good rush on Matt McRobert. The ball is bounding out of bounds inside the 30. Looks like they're going to mark that down around the 24-yard line, and that's where UND will start first and 10.
We have a holding call on UND. So this thing's going back a little further, guys.
Boy, these penalties, 10 penalties, 10 for 90 yards in today's game.
You play the number 4 FBS team in the country, 0 penalties. I don't understand it. But
first down and 10 from the own 17. Here's the toss, and Brady Oliveira gets across the 20 to around the 21-yard line. They're going to mark it around the 20, so that's a 3-yard gain on first down. Explosive plays. Talk to Bubba Schweigert about explosive plays that you want to prevent, and that's, runs of 20, passes of 30, somewhere in that area, Mike. And of course, the 69-yard run for John Santiago last week was an explosive play for UND. We haven't really seen an explosive play for North Dakota in today's game. Second down and 7. Ketteringham fakes the toss, going downfield. This could be one if Adiotti can get under it. It is caught by Izzy Adiotti. Adiotti put it in. There's an explosive play down to the Bearcat 30-yard line.
And that is the guy that you can target that can get deep. He ran by that secondary, and I don't know if they weren't expecting Nate Ketteringham to put that ball on him. For all the poor execution we've seen this half, that was about as good as it gets right there, guys.
48 yards. I guess all we had to do was talk about explosive plays. Well, 48 yards.
Keep talking.
Yeah, no doubt, Paul. So first down and 10. At the Sam Houston State 32, again play action. Ketteringham going for the marbles. Mogg inside, incomplete. There was contact, but not enough. In coverage was Zion McCullum. He's got a twin brother. That's a D-back, Tristan McCullum.
That could have been a situation for one of those back shoulder throws where the defender was inside. The ball was just thrown a little inside where the defender had a chance to get involved with the pass.
So it is 2nd down and 10 for North Dakota on the Sam Houston State 32-yard line, trailing by 6. Under 8 to play here in the fourth quarter. Ketteringham, they're going to keep it on the ground. Santiago's in trouble. He is brought down by Eric Fowler, that big defensive end. He's the quick one, 6'1", 255. But again, North Dakota not fooling anybody on that one and not certainly getting much of a push on the offensive line.
A slow developing power play, and it's to actually circle these guys on the edge to get to the outside.
May I ask you this, Mike?
It's a track team. It's a relay team out there.
Is North Dakota in 4-down territory right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
7:25 to go in the game. Loss up 2. 3rd down and 11. Ketteringham screen set up. Adioti has it. If he gets a block on the outside, he might have enough for a first down. Spins inside. He's short. He's to the 25. He's going to come up about 3 yards short, but it's going to make it 4th down and 3. And that's if there aren't any of those yellow things hanging around as you get blockers from your receivers. I don't see any. 4th down and 3.
That's been an effective play about 3 times tonight. He runs that short, shallow crossing route, running away from everybody underneath. It's just that he had nowhere to go after he caught the ball.
I see even some Sam Houston State Bearcats with hands on the hips. We are that time of the game. This is just about will and heart. Ketteringham on 4th down. Pass caught. Wanzik, and first down. North Dakota. Noah Wanzik out of bounds at the 20-yard line. That will get a fresh set of downs.
And that time, they lined up again in a Twins formation, tight end away from them, but he sprinted out to the Twins, ran away from pressure. Wanzik was open, and a nice ball.
So it is 1st down and 10 from the Sam Houston State 21-yard line. High backfield. Here's the toss to Brady Oliveira. Oliveira has to cut back in, and Oliveira stays on his feet. I think, did his helmet come off, and is his head still in? Yeah, okay, Brady's helmet got popped off. He took a licking.
He finished that run, but the last 4 hits without a helmet. But, you know, moose have those big antlers.
Yeah. That's the Manitoba Moose. That's 3 yards. And Oliveira will have to come out. Santiago back in, 2nd down and 8. Inside the Case IH red zone. Rethink productivity from the Sam Houston State 18-yard line. North Dakota trailing at 23-17. Ketteringham going to keep it himself. Ketteringham broke free at the 10. He dives inside the 9. That's a first down for North Dakota. Nate Ketteringham. Coach, I said it earlier. You conferred. Nate Ketteringham's got to be the factor here down the stretch, and he's made some plays here on this drive.
He really has. We called him out, and he must have heard us. I don't know if he's wired in or he can hear Paul's headset. And fellas, there is nobody covering the tight ends right now.
Luke Fiedler, tight end on the left. Graham DeVore is the fullback on that side. First down and goal from the 10. Ketteringham to pass. Underneath, it is incomplete. Trying to dump it to John Santiago. Even had John catch that, I'm not so sure he wouldn't have been lit up by Adrian Contreras.
Yeah, that ball was pretty much uncatchable high and behind him. Pretty good pressure on Ketteringham.
How do you get 3? You have 3 plays to get 10 yards. Mike, how do you do it? You like your tight end call? You get 3 plays to get 10 yards, and maybe a victory hangs in the balance. That's where we sit. The 5:24 to play in the fourth quarter. North Dakota down 23-17. 2nd down and goal just inside the Sam Houston State 10. Here's a keep by Ketteringham again. He lunges inside the 10 to around the 7-yard line. So you have 2 plays to get 7 yards.
I get into some kind of a wide formation here, and when that happens, they get an outside linebacker or nobody on the tight end. But spread them out, get those corners and safety spread out, which they're doing right now. So they're going to a spread formation.
Garrett Boggs split to the right. Inside of him is Toivonen. Noah Wanzik split to the left. That's the short side. Ball between the hashes. And a timeout is called by Sam Houston State. So 4:53 to go in the fourth quarter. We'll break. It's Sam Houston State 23, North Dakota 17. This is Fighting Hawks football, the home of Economy Radio Network.
You're listening to a classic rebroadcast of North Dakota football from their game on September 15th, 2018 against Sam Houston State. Izzy Adiotti hauled in a big pass to really kickstart this drive, and here's head coach Bubba Schweigert on the big strike.
Big change in field position. We needed to take a shot at some point, and we ran a little play action there. And Izzy got behind him and came up with a really good catch, and that gave us some life in the drive. You know, that drive actually was, you know, a 12-play drive, 84 yards, because we were on our own 16-yard line. But that was the play. I believe it was 46-yard pass. And Nate has a strong arm and put it out there and gave Izzy a chance, and he made the play. And
when we return, we'll get the conclusion of the drive along with more thoughts from head coach Bubba Schweigert as you're listening to North Dakota Football on the Home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
When another Alberta Clipper blows in, nothing keeps you on the job longer than Carhartt work gear from Home of Economy. Ask anyone working outdoors. They'll tell you Carhartt makes the warmest work gear available. Traditional brown duck, Yukon Extremes, Carhartt Originals, and FR. They're all beyond tough and ready to work as hard as you do. See us today for the most sizes, styles, and selections.
Home of Economy, where your dollar buys more.
Calling all UND sports fans. Each UND game day, whether home or away, visit your local Valley Dairy and Valley Car Wash for exclusive game day deals. Enjoy $1 off any breakfast or single topping personal pan size hot stuffed pizza at Valley Dairy. Or buy one, get one free car washes at any of the 4 Valley Car Wash locations. Welcome to Valley Dairy. Welcome to the new official convenience store of UND Athletics.
Nothing better than spending summer on a pontoon. Right. Summer's over. And you don't have a pontoon. Sounds like you need to go to Revolution's Power Sports and Marine for the pontoon blow-up. Save big on all remaining pontoons. And Revolution's has winter storage, winterization, and boat shrink wrap available. Don't miss out on a great deal at Revolution's Power Sports and Marine pontoon blow-up. We need something here. Perfect. Off I-29 and 32nd Avenue South.
You've been on the farm your whole life. You've packed countless sack lunches over the years, preparing for the day ahead. Hard to imagine this day would come. Yeah, there's still the same fields, the same roads, the same hard work. But soon it'll be time for someone new to carry on the legacy. The question is, are you prepared? No matter what the future holds, Ag Country is here to help you plan ahead.
Looking for more sports news and action during the season and beyond? Get all of your sports news 24/7 in the formats you want. E-papers, online, newsletters, print editions, and apps when you become a member of GrandForksHerald.com. Join today at GrandForksHerald.com/subscribe for Fighting Hawks coverage, The Rink Live, prep sports, and more. You'll never miss a play with membership at GrandForksHerald.com/subscribe.
Nate from the Golf Center here, the man with the fancy shoes. We don't want this golf season to end, so come see us for everything you need to continue on warm and cozy. Push carts available now to keep that heart rate up on cool mornings. Rain jackets, windbreakers, and sweaters to layer up and make a full day of it. Gloves and hats to keep the important things comfortable. Golf balls in a variety of colors, as well as low compression balls to take the sting out of those frozen shots. All available at the Golf Center, where your game begins.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite UND players on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. UND Pride, powered locally.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
You're listening to this rebroadcast of North Dakota football's 2018 matchup against then number 5 Sam Houston State. It's being presented today by Shields, Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. North Dakota has the ball late in the fourth inside the 10. We now rejoin Jack and Mike up in the booth.
Here at Bauer Stadium, Jack Michaels, Mike Berg, Paul Rolston. Dare we say the game hanging in the balance. Now there's 4:53 to play. It is 3rd down and goal to go for the University of North Dakota from the Sam Houston State 8-yard line.
Well, this is where you want to be, fellas. We'll see what you're made of.
Brady Oliveira is the back in. Kelleringham out of the gun. Twin receivers, Mogg on the far right. Toivonen inside of him. Wanzik split wide to the left. 3rd down and goal.
Nobody on Alex Cloyd.
We'll keep an eye on that tight end. Here's a look. Oliveira out of the gun, and I should say Kelleringham out of the gun. Tried to drop it to Oliveira to the backfield. It's incomplete. Now decision time. Paul and I and you were chatting during the break, and I don't see Brady Leach coming out. And Mike, this is a case where you can utilize your timeouts. Go for it here on 4th and goal for the 8. Utilize your timeouts defensively to hopefully get the ball back and try to make one more push if you don't score a touchdown here. That's what Bubba Schweigert is planning to do. I don't mind the call at all. Mogg split wide to the left. Toivonen and Wanzik on the near side. 4th and goal from the Sam Houston State 8-yard line. UND trying to knock down the Bearcat Giant, and a timeout is called on the field.
I want to leave the booth and go put on an offensive headset and listen to what the call is.
Mike, we've seen on this drive, and first of all, they had it 1st and goal from the worst spot to have it 1st and goal. Not arguing, but have you ever seen that? It's like the 9.5-yard line, so you've almost got the maximum distance to go without getting a first down. That's tough. So when you have it 1st and goal from inside the 10, and I rightfully so, you're trying to dump a ball to Santiago, just wasn't there. There's a good rush, there's good coverage. They came up, sniffed it out. Kelleringham then on 2nd down, calling his own number to see if he could break one like he did a few plays earlier. That got a few yards. Now you try to dump it out of the backfield to Oliveira. There's your three plays.
And you get 22 players stuffed into an area that's basically 19 yards, 10 in the end zone and 9 more yards. That's a lot of bodies in a tight, compressed area. It's tough to score down here.
Luke Fiedler, the tight end on the left side. So here it is, 4th and goal from the 8. Kelleringham delivers. The ball is caught by Wanzik. Touchdown, North Dakota. Noah Wanzik catches in the end zone, and we're tied at 23.
And fellas, they rushed 3, dropped 8 into coverage. Wanzik found a hole back in the right corner of the end zone, and Nate Kelleringham drilled it.
Boy, did he zing that ball in there, and Noah Wanzik, great poise, Paul.
It was the opposite of a back shoulder throw. In fact, I think they were expecting back shoulder, and then he threw it up the field, and Wanzik just adjusted to it. What an amazing play.
Brady Leach on for his most important extra point in his young North Dakota career. This would give North Dakota a lead. The snap, the place, the kick is up. The kick is good. The point after is good, and North Dakota has stolen the lead. 4:44 to play in the 4th quarter, and UND has taken a 24-23 lead. Timeout on the field. 4:44 remaining in the game. Our new score, UND 24, Sam Houston State 23. This is North Dakota football on the Home of Economy Radio Network.
So after such a controlled first half and somewhat of a disastrous 3rd quarter, North Dakota had its most productive drive of the 2nd half, and the Noah Wanzik score and point after gave the Fighting Hawks the lead. Here's head coach Bubba Schweigert on the scoring play and Noah Wanzik.
After a few cracks at it, we went for it on 4th down because it was time to do it. We had to go for a touchdown, and on 4th and 8, just the touchdown pass was really a amazing catch by Noah Wanzik, which we've seen him do before, and Nate put it in a spot that only Noah could catch it. And what was odd about that play, a lot of times when it's one-on-one with Noah, you're going to throw it up high, but Nate kind of threw it behind the defender, and with that catch radius that Noah has, he just went out and found a way to make the play. Yeah, it's a great recruiting story. You know, we got on Noah late after watching him play basketball. A couple of our coaches, Coach Freund and Coach Schmidt, were down in Jamestown and watched him play basketball and just really were impressed with his athleticism on the basketball floor. And sometimes it is hard. We don't get out and see guys enough in person playing football, and depending on who you have around you and how you get the ball thrown to you in high school can have an effect on how you're evaluated. But, once we saw him on the basketball floor, we were convinced that we really needed to find a way to get him into our program and offered him. And we're really pleased that he decided to come to the University of North Dakota. His family had ties to UND, so it was really important for him to play here. And that's what I think is great about giving North Dakota kids an opportunity to play at our flagship university. It's special. I think a lot of guys grow up wanting to play at the University of North Dakota, and Noah was one of those guys, and he took advantage of the opportunity, and he just kept getting better and better each and every year. And his first career catch, I'll never forget, out at Bowling Green, you just really don't want to believe how he came down with the ball. And it was really impressive. They replayed it. They called him out of bounds, and they replayed it and called him inbounds, and you just don't even want to believe he was able to keep a foot in bounds. But he had so many of those catches throughout his career, and the reason I believe he got so much better was his competitive spirit and his work ethic. Every day he came to practice to get better. Every day he went in the video room to get better, and just really, really a great competitor and an awesome teammate, and really humble. He was such a humble guy, but very competitive. For being a quiet guy, he was very competitive, and that's what made him great.
We'll bring the exciting final minutes after a message from our local station partners on the Home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Welcome back to our rebroadcast of University of North Dakota football's 2018 battle at Sam Houston State. North Dakota's defense really was the story of the second half against a team that wants to desperately put up video game-like numbers. And once again, this was to close out a road win over a ranked team who at the time owned the longest streak in FCS football for home wins. It would be up to the Fighting Hawks defense.
12 plays, 84 yards. It consumed 4 minutes and 23 seconds. And how about matching? On 4th and goal, Sam Houston State got one in from 1 yard out in the first half. On 4th and goal from the 8, North Dakota's quarterback Nate Kelleringham delivers a strike to Jamestown, North Dakota product Noah Wanzik. The kick good, and UND has a lead 24-23 here in Huntsville, Texas. The most important thing right now, kickoff coverage. Jalen Harris back deep along with Tyler Scott. Leach delivers one. End over end, and this will be returned from his own 3-yard line. Harris to the 10 and to the 20, now to the 23, and a tackle made here on a scrum at the 24. Boy, and we got a little scrum going out at the 29 between DJ Curtis of Sam Houston State, and was that DeJohn Murray out there that was...
I wouldn't be surprised. He won't back away from anything. The guy that came down there and took a flying shot was Cam Hunt. If he had made contact on that, the ambulance would be rolling down the hill right now.
Paul Ralston, give me the attitude of that bench right now for North Dakota.
There's just a lot of energy now. I don't think if they're tired, it doesn't matter. It's all adrenaline the rest of the way.
1st and 10.
Cannot be tired. Nobody out there is allowed to be tired.
It's got to be energy. Right now, it's 4:43 to go. Now, Sam Houston State, with only one timeout remaining here in the second half. North Dakota has all 3 of theirs. Sam Houston State had to burn 2 timeouts to set up their defense when North Dakota had it on goal-to-goal situation. So North Dakota converts on 4th down and goal from the 8 on the touchdown, the point after they got a lead, and here come the Bearcats. 1st down and 10 for their own 25-yard line. Now they're going to take 3 more seconds. Well, that's good. They took 3 more seconds. Take 3 more off the clock. 4:40 to play in the 4th quarter. Well, this team, Sam Houston State, that own the 3rd quarter, find themselves down a point. They've won 21 straight at home. There to pass. The pocket collapses. The pass is incomplete. Evan Holm, who has had a day, disrupts it. Pass intended for Tevin Stevenson.
Evan Holm just made, so far, the defensive play of the day.
And he's had a couple of them.
He's had 3 on fade routes in the end zone, and he has one right there that breaks up that. And there was great pressure. Eric Schmidt is dotting up some pressure, Coach, also.
Well, Schmidt's calling pressures. Dare's going to have people in his face. And Evan Holm just separated Stevenson from the ball.
Tank Harris at the nose. Cieslak and Mason Bennett dare to pass. Comes underneath. The ball is caught by Scott. Scott is wrapped up just short of a first down. Evan Holm, again, the first contact made, brings up 3rd down and 2 with 4:25 to play in the game. 24-23, North Dakota leading by 1 point. Remember, Sam Houston State has a heck of a kicker. 3rd down and short, handoff Carmen Jackson. Jackson wrapped up by Mason Bennett. It's a tackle for a loss. Mason Bennett came in and dropped him down. 4th down, Sam Houston. Boy, did Bennett come off that edge.
He just closed off the edge, and UND is not in nickel. You'd think right now, the way that Sam Houston spreads you out, they would go to an extra defensive back. They have not. I don't know that they've been in nickel much all day, if at all.
The game hinging on this play, perhaps. 4th down and 2 for Sam Houston State from their own 33. Davion Davis in motion. Here's the shovel pass. Jackson, he's not going to get it. He's going to be short, and North Dakota has turned over Sam Houston on downs. Holy cow.
That's the 3rd time today they've tried to run that shovel pass. I don't know. The officials are talking. It's
pretty
short.
good spot.
It's short by measure, by just visual.
Boy, that's a really
It's not
good
even
spot,
close.
Paul. I had the binoculars up on that one. It looked like he missed that by 1.5 yards. Now it appears he's only missed it by a half. But the key word there is the verb missed.
If those lines are straight, he is way short.
They're going to pull the chain. Boy, I don't know about.
I do.
He's short. He's short. And North Dakota has the ball with 3:33 left to play. And Sam Houston State defense will have to come on the field.
Now, I tell you what you do. You get that big diesel running, get that thing chugging. You use those big maulers up front, and you just blow Sam Houston off the line of scrimmage. You got a guy like the Moose and Johannesson in the backfield. Let's use him. And there comes James
Johannesson is coming out. He's in that
Graham
backfield.
DeVore in front of him.
Sam Houston State can only stop the clock one time. You get a couple of first downs here, boy, and you'll be in great position. Wanzik in motion. Here's the handoff to Johannesson. James bursting through a second surge, and he is stopped for a gain of 2. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8. And Sam Houston going to burn that final timeout. 3:27 to play. This is where, obviously, you want to be. You're in a position on the road against one of the top 5 teams in the country, FCS. And North Dakota with a 24-23 lead with 3:27 to play in the 4th quarter.
Fellas, this isn't even football now. It's mindset. It's attitude. It's what's inside of you. You have something within your grasp that can literally change the culture of your football program right now and just send you on an upward climb. You make it happen. You don't dare get on that bus after this game,
Mike,
without winning this game.
The play calling here, Mike, you obviously now, Sam Houston State can't call any more timeouts. So if you do you go to the air at any time during this possession? I guess that's the easiest way to put that.
The only way is bootleg. You might run bootleg, get him out, and if he's got somebody wide open, maybe. But
DeVore blocking the fullback for the tailback, James Johannesson. Here's the toss to James, and James got a surge inside the 30, down to around the 28-yard line, maybe the 27, and that'll bring him 3rd down and 2.
And
3rd down and 2.
He didn't stop when he got either, did he, Paul?
That is just, we talk about the size of Brady's legs, but this year when James came to camp, I was like, that is unnecessary. That was just
right now it is necessary.
Well, that's exactly right. I was just going to say that just told me it was necessary because he literally pushed the pile with those huge legs of his by about 3 yards.
Big first down. This may be one of the biggest first downs, certainly for North Dakota and Bubba Schweigert. 3rd down and 2, North Dakota. They need to get just inside the 25. Here's the toss to Johannesson. Johannesson stays on his feet. He dives inside the 25, down to the 22. It's a first down, and Sam Houston State can't stop the clock.
He broke a tackle in the backfield. Looked like he was going to be stopped for no gain or just come up a little short, and he kept that thing going.
Now it's I said, Father Roy, now it becomes a little bit of math. 2:27 to play in the game. They can reel off about 6. You can snap this right around the 2-minute mark. First down and 10.
They go to Brady now, fresher back.
Fresh back into the Manitoba Moose with DeVore, the fullback. First down and 10 from the Sam Houston 24. They give us to Oliveira. Oliveira just kind of tiptoeing. Gets about 1, maybe 2. And they'll reset the clock at 40. It's at 39. Now you can snap it around a minute and a half remaining in this game. About a minute 23, they can take the snap on second down and 10. And North Dakota is going to use all of that time. 144, 143, 142.
And what I always do in these situations is pull out my card.
Look at the formation that North Dakota is in. North Dakota's going to sit and take a knee on second down and 10 because they've done the math. They will snap it at 2 on the play clock. Here's the hand. Well, they're not going to take a knee. The handoff's to Oliveira. Sorry for a second. They just loaded up the front. I got a little zealous right there, Coach. It'll be third down. But now the play clock will reset as it did. And North Dakota can take the snap here on third down. And there's going to be about 30 and change, 40 and change remaining on the clock.
If they run
38 seconds on the clock after they can take this snap.
Right. If they run this one down to 2 seconds, this one is victory formation.
So it is third down and 7. North Dakota leading 24-23. 44 seconds on the play clock. 4 on the game clock, the play clock. North Dakota will sit down. Ketteringham will lay down at the 29-yard line. And this one is over. North Dakota has taken down the Bearcats in their house. UND is going to win it tonight in Huntsville. 24-23. The 21 consecutive win streak is over. And the University of North Dakota will fly back to Grand Forks with a win here tonight in Huntsville.
I don't have words right now for what I saw this team. After that third quarter, I thought, man, this thing is going to end badly. What a heart shown by this football team in this fourth quarter.
Happy birthday, Bubba Schweigert. Happy birthday, Bubba Schweigert. Happy birthday, Bubba Schweigert. Paul, your mic, as you know, is open. A large win for UND to come on the road and pick off the 4th-ranked team in the country. 24-23 your final. A hard-fought victory for the University of North Dakota. They have earned it.
All right, Coach. That second half didn't really start according to plan, did it? But I tell you what, there was a lot of heart at the finish, wasn't there?
Yeah, a lot of perseverance. You know, just didn't get the stop that we wanted initially. Didn't start moving the ball, but, you know, we won the fourth quarter, and that's what made the difference.
Yeah, you talked about last week the fourth quarter was the one that got away from you, and, boy, you had a second kick at the can, and you took advantage of it here tonight.
Just a lot of perseverance and a heck of a play on fourth down. You know, guys got to come through and make big plays when they get the opportunity. Nate makes a great throw, Noah a really good catch, and then defensively in the fourth quarter, we were really good.
I was going to say, defensively, boy, Evan Holm came up with some very big plays here tonight from the corner spot, knocking down some fade routes, and then a big one also late in the game as well.
Well, a huge swing also was the block punt, you know, special team breakdown, and we hold him to 3 there. That's huge, and Evan was big all night, so he really played well.
You know, last week had no penalties. This week you had to overcome some, and it made this game a little bit of a different game, but you still showed that perseverance.
Yeah, we'll get that corrected, but really proud of the guys. Tough place to play on the road, and big win for our program. This is huge, and now we got to get over it and get on to the next one.
Well, we appreciate it, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, there's head coach Bubba Schweigert. Thing it is down here, and the North Dakota players, and there's a lot of green fans here, by the way, at this stadium, are going to go and do some 5 of the fans, and they should. We'll send it back upstairs to you guys.
Excellent, Paul. We'll hear from you a little bit later on the post-game show presented by Sicky's Garage. I think if I listen closely, I can hear the cheering from all over the upper Midwest on the Home of Economy Radio Network. My text right now blowing up. It's a large win for North Dakota. You know, run your own race. Every program is different, Mike. And for UND, this is another step. And a big win today in Huntsville, especially after the third quarter. UND gained 18 yards, had a punt block within their own 10-yard line. They had 2 stances holding Sam Houston State to 3 points. And when the game was on the line, when the money was on the table, when it mattered the most, Mike, North Dakota reels off a 12-play, 84-yard drive that consumes 4:23 and converts on 4th and goal from the 8-yard line. Ketteringham to Wanzik. They turn and ask their defense, win this for us, and they do it.
You know, you and I were just sitting here miserable, looking at each other as they struggled through those possessions in this second half. And just, you know, what has happened? They reached down, found a way, and the heart that they displayed out here tonight is just absolutely remarkable. And those that were thinking this was a football team based on last year's record, get over yourselves. This is a very good football team and a football team with heart and with character.
Fun to see. I know we've got a network break to get in also here, so we'll put it in the hands of Tracy. Our Sicky's Garage postgame report is coming up next. You're going to want to stick around for that, fans. The final tonight from Elliott T. Power Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. 21-game win streak in this house has been snapped. It's the University of North Dakota 24, Sam Houston State 23. Post-game show is next on the Fighting Hawks Home of Economy Radio Network from Learfield.
North Dakota's defense gets the stop, and James Johannesson gets the first down run, and North Dakota gets a win over a top 5 ranked opponent on the road. And to this day, some big plays by the defensive players in the third and fourth quarters still is what stands out to head coach Bubba Schweigert.
Yeah, strung some great plays together, and that's how you got to win games. You're against good opponents. You can't just win it on one side of the ball, and I just felt like our guys really played that night. Played with a lot of energy, which, you know, you got to learn from those experiences, what it takes to go on the road against good teams and win games, and our guys really stepped up to the challenge. You know, you mentioned some of those names, Donnell Rogers, Evan Holm, Hank Harris. You know, those guys were very competitive and played with confidence, and especially in those key situations, you know, after we got that 1-point lead, to preserve that victory on the road was really exciting for our guys.
This concludes this UND Classic football broadcast from September 15th, 2018, where the University of North Dakota defeated then number 5 Sam Houston State 24-23 in Huntsville, Texas. This Classic rebroadcast has been presented by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. Live college sports will happen again soon. In the meantime, we'll continue to give you some great moments for the coaches, players, and you, the fans of University of North Dakota Athletics. For the latest information on University of North Dakota Athletics, go to fightinghawks.com. I'm Paul Ralston. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you choose to do so again.